There was contempt in his voice. There was contempt in his voice. It seemed like a simple sentence, but it was filled with arrogance and the tempo of flying to the sky. 6 great experts. They were all war god peak realm, and they also trained in a unique ability. Their attack power could deal tens of millions of damage to those powerful Hell's City masters. However, but he was looked down upon by Long Quangtian. Is that all you have? What a contemptuous remark. The 6 of them looked at each other, flipped their bodies and once again increased their strength. Roar. A malevolent appeared out of nowhere, extremely ferocious. Roar. Roar. 5 ferocious demon beasts rushed out. They were demons. After cultivating for 10,000 years, Yi Tianqiu had become a hero. This was the only time they had transformed into a demon in hell. Long Quangtian, I want to see how arrogant you are. Ah. The demon beast was furious, and its power this time was more than 3 times that of the previous time. He used his full strength and struck again. The dark demon looked at Long Fei with a pleased smile. Lame duck, look at your ancestors, they are about to become crippled. The former Long Quangtian was so sharp, now. Ha ha ha. Just like a ghost old man. Entering the demonic body and tempering his demonic spiritual energy. What was the strongest thing about Demon Beast? This was their strongest point. When this kind of power smashed down, Long Fei's heart trembled. This is the power that can instantly kill the City Lord of Hell. It was also at this moment. He thought about his classic of the mountain and sea and thought to himself, can I train in the monsters that I create? This kind of power made Long Fei excited. Long Quangtian did not even look and extended his right hand to scratch his bald head. He straightened his head and muttered, the types are all messed up. Finished. He raised his eyes and smiled faintly, you guys used to have this kind of power. I didn't think that after so many years of training in hell, you guys would still have this kind of power. Weak. Here. Explode. As soon as he finished. Boom, boom, boom. Long Quangtian's figure disappeared, and in the air, only the sound of 6 big mouths could be heard. Pa, pa, pa was extremely loud and clear. Then, bang, bang. 6 corpses fell from the sky like 6 dead flies. The moment the corpse fell onto the ground, Long Quangtian slowly walked out step by step, and all the corpses fell behind him. This power, this speed. He was simply too domineering. Walking in front of Yi Tianqiu, he spat on his palm, then lightly touched his head and stared at Yi Tianqiu. You have to be quick in killing, you have to be handsome. Too cool. Even Long Fei felt that he was not as good as her. Long Quangtian smiled slightly. Little Yin, I didn't expect that even after so many years have passed, you would still bite me and not let me go. Yi Tianqiu's body was trembling, and he couldn't help but start trembling, and then he started laughing sinisterly. Long Quangtian, you massacred my spirit demon race and killed my father, how can I not avenge this? As soon as he finished, the aura from Yi Tianqiu's body suddenly exploded, the 2 demon eyes moved, releasing the destructive force from the demon eyes. Just at this moment, Pa. A slap landed on his face. Long Quangtian said, do you know why your father became blind? That's because I have used the demon eye too many times to destroy it, causing cataract and flash, plus color blindness. It was also because of this that I married such an ugly woman. Yi Tianqiu is strong. The power of destruction was powerful. His palm flipped over. Long Fei was dumbstruck. The 1,000+ people behind him were also dumbfounded. The dark demon lowered his head, not daring to look into Long Quangtian's eyes. Yi Tianqiu was slapped to the ground, blood hung from the corner of his mouth as he gritted his teeth and said, you are not allowed to insult my mother, ah. With a flick of his body, he flew up into the air. His attack had not yet landed. Pa. Another big slap sounded, and Yi Tianqiu was slapped yet again, as he landed heavily on the ground. Long Quangtian crouched down and earnestly advised, Little Yin, why do you have to go through so much trouble? You said that your father died by my hands, what power do you have to fight me? Don't be cocky, it's useless. What was being crushed? This was it. And it was an absolute crushing defeat. Long Fei could even feel that Long Quangtian using the true qi was pure power. This was a strong rancor, a strong rancor amongst strong people. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. The surrounding people were even more shocked. While they were still alive, the Long family had already weakened. He did not know that there was such a powerful existence like Long Quangtian. Seeing them today, it could be said that the Long family actually had such an incredible existence. What a complete mess. Yi Tianchou's eyes flashed with stars, his two eyes stared straight at Long Quangtian, and his mouth kept releasing sinister laughter. Woo-ha-ha-ha. Ah, ha, ha. Long Quangtian, I never thought that after all these years, your cultivation would be even higher. Good, good, good. Then let me show you our spirit demon race's power of taboos. Whoosh. Yi Tianchou's body flickered and landed 1,000 meters away. A layer of taboo. Open for me. Boom. His body suddenly transformed, and the bones all over his body began to emit cracking sounds. His face also became extremely hideous, and the bones and flesh within his body bulged out one after another. The aura around his body also changed drastically. The second level. Open for me. Crack. Bang. Under his skin, the protruding bones pierced his skin one after another. Blood spurted out of his wounds, and his body's strength had clearly doubled. At this moment, Long Quangtian's face secretly changed. God's bone taboo. Yi Tianchou had grown many bones on his body, and every single one of them carried an extraordinary strength. His expression became especially ferocious, and he said while staring at Long Quangtian, "At least you have good eyes. I've succeeded in cultivating the power of God's bone taboo that even my father failed to do." Ha ha ha. Long Fei's heart was moved as he asked, "Ancestor, what do you mean by God's bone taboo?" The space between Yang Huang Ancestor's eyebrows sunk, and also trembled a little as he said, "Sky bone, as its name implies, is the bone of the sky. It contains the power of the heavens. Once it is opened, no matter where it is, he will be able to absorb the heavenly energy. Moreover, this is the strongest element energy. The reason it's called a taboo is because its destruction is too great. Equals half carat float # life carat also, once he releases the power of God's bone taboo, his body will never be able to recover. It will always be like this. This is sky law." Long Fei's heart trembled. Then, the Yang Huang ancestor said slightly, "He has already reached the second layer, your ancestor might." Yi Tianchou laughed sinisterly, bellowed, and said, "Long Quangtian, go to hell." Chapter 28_8419235678 HTML.com Right-ip. Right-ip. Yi Tianchou took out a handful of bones from his body. The bones were filled with blood as he stared at Long Quangtian sinisterly. "Dai. Wang." An aura came from his body and directly connected him to the sky. The power of the God's bone taboo was completely released. "Move." He couldn't see her at all, not even her aura. It landed in front of Long Quangtian like it was changing forms. The bone spike in his hand swept out. Bam! Long Quangtian's expression tensed up, his reaction speed had already exceeded everything, and his right arm had already horizontally blocked the attack. The strength stripes exploded out. Long Quangtian's figure was also sent flying by the strong force of God's bone taboo, directly flying out 1,000 kilometers. Shua. Yi Tianchou's body disappeared once again, and after half a second of continuous time, an explosion sounded out in the sky. Long Quangtian was blasted into the air. Boom. It hit the ground heavily. The hole in the ground formed a giant hole that was 100 meters wide. The hole in the ground looked like a spider web that was filled with cracks as Long Quangtian fell down onto the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. Yi Tianchou floated in the air and sneered sinisterly. In order to defeat you, I have been cultivating all this time. I have continuously attacked the God's bone taboo and activated it, also that I could kill you. Ha ha ha. Yi Tianchou laughed crazily and said, Long Quangtian, are you feeling good? Cough, cough, cough. Long Quangtian coughed and muttered, the power of the God's bone taboo is really strong, I can't even hold on for my old bones. Cough, cough, cough. While speaking, Long Quangtian coughed a few times, looked at Yi Tianchou who was in the air laughing crazily, and said, it's not that great, but you'll feel great later on. Crack. His body also changed as a dragon roar came from inside him. Soon, dragon scales appeared on his body and he shouted, Dragon transformation. Roar. The dragon roared, and in that 10% of a second, a sinister dragon head rushed out from its body and soared into the sky, biting Yi Tianchou, and roared deeply, I will make you feel good about the heaven. A malevolent, colossal dragon. The long dragon god with 4 claws, scales on his body, dragon whiskers, dragon heads, every part of his body was emitting an incomparable amount of dragon power. Dragon transformation. It's a secret technique unique to the Long family. The ancestors of the Long family had killed a dragon god, drank dragon's blood, refined a dragon blood vein. When they reach a certain realm in their cultivation, they could obtain the power of the dragon blood, and could even transform into a dragon. I always thought that this was a legend, but I never expected that it would be true. He transformed into a dragon. Oh God, this is the first time I've seen a dragon. The people behind Long Fei were completely shocked. Long Fei was the same, his heart trembling with excitement. Awesome. I didn't expect that it could really transform into a dragon. Ha ha ha. Long Fei was very excited. At that time, his grandfather only grew a few dragon scales, and his strength was a little stronger. He never thought that the ancestor of the Long family would actually be able to transform into such a huge dragon that could soar through the skies. Rumble. The sky darkened and Yi Tianchou's body sank. He coughed up blood. And then, now, I'll let you feel refreshed. Rumble. Long Quangtian bit Yi Tianchou as he struck down vertically, and the strong dragon's flames continuously bombarded towards Yi Tianchou. God's bone taboo? Do you know why your father doesn't train? That's because your father is too ugly. Bang, bang, bang. Yi Tianchou constantly resisted, and the heavenly elements in his body also continuously counterattacked. He roared loudly, you are not allowed to insult my father. He was furious. However, his second floor's God's bone taboo simply could not harm Long Quangtian, who had turned into a dragon. He still belittled Long Quangtian, as the people from the Long family were much stronger than he had imagined. However, the hatred in Yi Tianchou's heart burned crazily. No matter what price he had to pay, he had to kill Long Quangtian. Rumble. Yi Tianchou was struck into the deep pit, the entire ground sunk, and the 18 levels of hell shook severely. It was incomparably powerful. Long Quangtian floated in midair, and coldly sneered, Little Yin, now you feel great, huh? It must be very cool, right? Ha ha ha. Yi Tianchou lay in the midst of the ruins, looking at the gigantic dragon in the sky. Flames of anger spouted out of his eyes. Sick. He felt extremely displeased. Ah! Yi Tianchou let out a wild roar, King Yama, crack. The sky darkened and a beam of power shot towards Yi Tianchou's body like a beam of light. Finally, Yi Tianchou's body suddenly inhaled, whoosh. He directly absorbed all of the power within the light. Long Quangtian glanced at the sky, then looked at Yi Tianchou and said slightly, Why are you doing this? You are already very ugly, why do you want to be even uglier? If you do this, you'll scare the girls. Even if the girls aren't afraid, it wouldn't be good to scare the flowers and plants. The light suddenly vanished. Yi Qianzhou's body was trembling with excitement and he spoke sinisterly, Long Guangtian, as long as I can kill you, I won't hesitate to pay my life even if it costs me. Woo ha ha ha. You're very strong in the form of a dragon, aren't you? I'm stronger than you. Yi Qianzhou let out a crazy cry, and the aura on his body exploded, third level of the forbidden technique, open, crack. His body suddenly doubled in size, and the bones all over his body jutted out like spears. The longer the bone, the longer his strength. The more heavenly essence he absorbed, the faster he absorbed. Woo ha ha ha. The voice that came out was no longer Yi Qianzhou's, it had completely changed. Long Guangtian's face tensed up, and cried out in his mind, this is bad. The second layer of the forbidden technique was already his limit. Even if he could suppress them, he wouldn't be able to kill Yi Qianzhou. This kind of God's bone taboo had been passed down from the spirit demon race for billions of years. Legend. The God's bone taboo was a bone from the heavens. This bone was devoured by a demon beast, becoming the supreme expert of the demon race, and the power of the God's bone taboo was raised to the second level. It was just a small second realm, but he was already an invincible existence that occupied an entire piece of land. It was just that. After he had used the power of the God's bone taboo, his soul had been shattered by the power of the sky law within a short span of 1 year, and his primordial spirit had vanished completely. He couldn't withstand the backlash of the God's bone taboo. Sister-in-law, 1-++ health strongest upgrade system in the tens of thousands of years of history. Not many demon clan experts knew how to cultivate this kind of God's bone taboo, because its power of heavenly retribution was just too terrifying. Long Guangtian never thought that Yi Qianzhou was a complete madman. He actually used the power of the King of Hell to forcefully raise the power of the God's bone taboo to the third level. This power was too terrifying. An existence that could destroy the heavens and the earth. Chapter 38_8419235671. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. Yi Qianzhou was a complete madman. Staring at Long Guangtian who was in the sky, his voice lowered, Long Guangtian, what other power do you have? Take it out. Before he could finish. Demon eyes of destruction. Sky demon. Voila. The sky split open, and a gigantic illusion of a demon beast descended, immediately pressing down on Long Guangtian. Boom. In an instant, he had managed to push the colossal dragon to the ground. Yi Qianzhou walked forward with a dark smile, stood in front of Long Guangtian, and asked, are there any stronger powers? No more. Boom. His right fist turned into a bone as it flew towards Long Guangtian's head like a cannon. The head of the dragon was sinking, and the bones on its head were cracking. Feeling good. Boom. Yi Qianzhou once again punched down, followed by a series of explosions. Is the Long family amazing? To slaughter my demon clan and destroy my demon sect, you are extraordinary, right? Boom, boom, boom. Punch after punch, the dragon's body was sent back into human form. His entire body was dripping with blood as if all his scales had been pulled out. In another place, Long Fei was burning with anxiety. I have to do something, I have to do something, what can I do? 3-rate peerless technique. Explode. Looking at his own ancestor being beaten up to such a state, the anger in his heart was also boiling. The god's devil blade fell into his hands. Her entire body moved, heavily leaping up as she chopped down at Yi Qianzhou's head. Bam! In this instant, Yi Qianzhou suddenly stopped. Both of his eyes slanted and stared at Long Fei who was in the air, and with a sinister smile, a surge of power erupted from his body and directly grabbed Long Fei by the throat. Yi Qianzhou laughed and said, Long Guangtian, I forgot to introduce him to you. He is the descendant of your Long family. What a pity. He's just a piece of trash with 0 dragon blood activation. Ha ha ha. You still don't know? Your Long family has already been defeated to the point of being a trash clan. Ha ha ha. Long Guangtian glanced at Long Fei. 0? Long Fei felt his throat being grabbed, and was extremely uncomfortable. Looking at Long Quangtian, he said with difficulty, "Senior, I'm sorry, I've disappointed you. No. Dragon blood activation is 0. This is the first time I've seen it." However, Long Quangtian smiled excitedly, and brought the idea into Long Fei's mind. "Have you brought the dragon salya yet?" Long Fei's brows shook. In the hands of the dark demon, Long Quangtian said, "Go and snatch the dragon salya back." And then, Long Quangtian's face was filled with contempt as he stared at Yi Tianqiu, who had gone insane. He laughed. "Little Yin, is this all you have?" "Ah!" Infuriated, Yi Tianqiu sent another wave of wildly exploding attacks at him. It was also at this time that his control over Long Fei slightly loosened. Long Quangtian's strength directly sent Long Fei out. Originally, Long Quangtian's heart was dead silent, but Long Fei's appearance made him burn. Especially the matter regarding the negative activation to dragon blood, which greatly shocked him. After Long Fei was sent flying, Yi Tianqiu did not chase after him, but instead bombarded him crazily. Such a small amount of strength. "Ha ha ha. Can you withstand this level of strength?" Long Quangtian laughed arrogantly. "At most, let me tickle you." Long Fei was flung out. At this moment, the dark demon couldn't help but sneer. "Trash? Are you even qualified to fight against the Monster King?" Long Fei wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth, then curled his lips and laughed coldly. The god's devil blades that were dragged on the ground made clattering sounds as it said, "Are you not fit to fight with him? Then am I worthy of fighting with you?" As soon as he finished, ghost steps. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Long Fei attacked like a ghost. The god's devil blade moved, killing everything it had. At this moment, the dark demon gave a disdainful sneer and said, "You are just a piece of trash. I can crush you to death with one finger." Boom. The dark arrogance on his body moved, and suddenly rose. It blocked Long Fei's god's devil blade. At this moment, Long Fei bellowed, "Tongue-drawing king, open. Scissor King's might, open. The power of the Mirror King, open." Bang, bang, bang. There were 2 levels of the Infernal Realms 18 which he hadn't managed to kill the city governor of, and all of the power of the other 16 had been unleashed. The power on the wild blade in Long Fei's hand became increasingly stronger. The dark demon's forehead broke out in cold sweat, and he thought to himself, "I never thought that they would become so powerful in such a short period of time. Is this the power of the Long family?" "Ah!" The dark demon's eyes turned sinister as he let out an angry roar. Dark Triuan Qi, attack. An explosion sounded from the dark demon's body. The 3 dark arrogants surrounding him rushed out of his body, like rolling black smoke turning into skulls that struck towards Xiong Longfei. "Be careful." Long Quangtian frowned, and shouted loudly. Yi Tianqiu sneered, "You should still be careful of yourself." He punched Long Quangtian in the face. "Be careful, young lord. Young lord." At this time, Xiao Bai rushed out. Ice and fire also rushed out. The strategist's gaze darkened and his voice sounded like thunder. He shouted loudly, "Everyone, get into position." It was also at this moment. Long Fei revealed a sinister smile. "I was afraid that you would not release all 3 of your powers, and now you are out. Then prepare to die." Multiple shadows. 8th body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Long Fei was afraid that the Dark Demon King would use his dark energy to protect himself. If he used it to defend himself, Long Fei would not be able to do anything for the time being. Now the dark arrogance had come out. That's easy. The 8 figures landed in 8 different directions of the dark demon, each holding a god's devil blade, and started killing the dark demon's body. Kill. Spears of the wolf god. Sky fire. Kill. Kill him. Let's see what else he can still be arrogant for. Xiao Bai's attacks, the attacks of the ice and fire, Lang Qianli and the others' attacks all struck at the dark demon god's body. Damn it. Long Fei said excitedly, "Your power has left your body, the defense of your body is 0, I want to see if you can take it or not." The dark demon was also furious, but he didn't retract the 3 flames and said, "Even if I die, I will kill you first." It did not weaken, but became stronger. "Kill me. You are not worthy." Devil Snake's Eye. The moment the three energies landed, Long Fei immediately released the Lamia's eyes of petrification, slightly petrifying the Dark Demon King. The time was very short, less than 10% of a second. However, to Long Fei, who was at the 6th level of the War God realm, this little bit of time was more than enough. Breaking free from the restraints and not retreating, he rushed forward and viciously chopped down with his saber. The people from the Long family never retreat. Rumble. Long Fei's blade descended, and the other attacks instantly crashed into the barrier. Are you very arrogant? Baidu sister-in-law AA half. Floating life strongest upgrade system. I'm even more arrogant than you. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The dark demon's body was crushed like mad, and blood sprayed all over the place. Is this great? Chapter 48_841923566792. Dark Demon's entire body was bleeding. Dark Demon's entire body was bleeding. It was so painful that it let out howls like a pig being butchered. It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. The 3 dark devil flames that he had released were powerful, but that was his profound cheese power. Without the protection of these 3 forces, his physical defense was reduced to the lowest possible level. It could be said. He relied on these 3 dark devil flames. Long Quangtian laughed excitedly. Good boy, this is so cool. Yi Tianqiu also noticed that the Dark Demon King was heavily injured, and the idea had sunk. Just as he was thinking about how to deal with Long Fei, Long Quangtian slapped his face and scolded, "What are you trying to do? Your target is me. Hurry up and continue. Don't tell me you don't want revenge for your ugly and blind father." Ah! Yi Tianqiu was furious once again, as he continuously attacked Long Quangtian. Long Quangtian said arrogantly. However, his life was rapidly slipping away. The power of the 3rd level was something he could not shake. The only thing he could do now was to delay Yi Tianqiu and let him obtain the Dragon Salia. What happened next? With the Dragon Salia, everything would be easy. At this moment, Yi Tianqiu suddenly stopped and laughed sinisterly. You want to obtain the Dragon Salia, right? Do you think I will let you succeed? While they were talking, Yi Tianqiu shouted loudly, Dark Demon, he wants to snatch the Dragon Salia. We definitely can't let him succeed. He quickly withdrew his profound qi back into his body. Hearing Yi Tianqiu's words, he laughed coldly and said, My lord, don't worry, we will definitely not get the Dragon Salia. While they were talking, the Dark Demon took out the Dragon Salia, looked at Long Fei who had 8 clones, and laughed proudly. You want to snatch back the Dragon Salia, right? Ha ha ha. The supreme artifact, if he fell into Long Quangtian's hands, then. The Dark Demon also suddenly wanted to pass. What a pity, you'll never get your Dragon Salia again. 4 generations, you Long family should forget about obtaining any more Dragon Salia. Long Fei's brows sank, and said, What are you planning to do? Dark Demon laughed. What are you doing? He picked up the Dragon Salia and bit into it. I want to eat it. Long Fei did not stop him. However, Long Quangtian was a little afraid, and said, We can't let him swallow the Dragon Salia. Long Fei laughed blandly. You better not eat, if not. The Dark Demon laughed complacently. What else would happen? Can you bite me? Long Fei, as long as I do not attack, my profound qi will allow me to be in an invincible position. As long as I swallow the Dragon Salia, Long Quangtian will die at the hands of the Demon King, and you, it will also die miserably in my hands, ha ha ha. While they were talking, he continuously swallowed the Dragon Salia into his body. Yi Tianqiu also laughed wildly with pride. Well done, Long Quangtian, the Dark Demon is a gaunt beast of abyss, his body can refine anything. No matter how powerful your Dragon Salia is, unable to refine it, you can forget about finding it. Ha ha ha. Long Quangtian, your last hope has been shattered. What strength do you still have to fight me? At this moment, the Dark Demon called the Dragon Salia into his stomach and burped. He laughed excitedly. The Supreme Dragon Knife is just not the same, its eating is so good. Long Fei laughed. Did you enjoy your meal? The Dark Demon said, Awesome, kid, your Long family is like a tiger without its teeth. Let's see how long you can continue jumping for. Long Fei asked again, Is it really that great? The dark demon laughed. Just at this moment, his face suddenly became pale. Long Fei laughed, and said, "Is your stomach hurting? I told you not to eat, but you just wouldn't listen. Right now, you must have a stomachache. Are all your internal organs rolling around?" Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed complacently. He was no fool. When Yi Tianqiu told him to hand over the dragon Salia, he immediately thought that this blade was a threat to him, so he kept the power of the Yang Huang ancestor on it. Swallowing into his stomach? Isn't this courting death? Ah! Ah! The dark demon held his stomach with both hands, and was in so much pain that his entire body was sweating. He was shaking non-stop. "My stomach, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts so much." His belly swelled. Everyone was surprised for a moment, but seeing this, they all laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, this is the tempo of birth. Dark demon, didn't you act quite arrogantly just now? Why does it hurt so much now? Feeling good? Everyone laughed out loud. The dark demon's face was pale as a sheet as he stared at Long Fei and roared, "You dog, what's on the dragon Salia? What exactly did you do?" Long Fei laughed, "It's poisonous. You're in a hurry to puke it out right now, or else." Yi Tianqiu said in a low voice, "Don't spit it out." Just as he was speaking, Long Quangtian slapped him again. "Why do you have to be so cocky? Your target is me, and why don't you scratch me?" Yi Tianqiu was about to go crazy. He wanted to help Dark Demon suppressing the dragon Salia, but he couldn't leave. Long Quangtian kept on sticking to him. Ah! The Dark Lord leaped up and fell down again, his belly growing bigger and bigger. "It's about to happen. It's about to happen. It's really about to happen. I've really never seen a man giving birth to a child before. This is something completely new. Ha ha ha." At this moment, the dark demon god was in so much pain that he could no longer take care of himself. Yang Huang ancestor laughed coldly, "Gaint beast of abyss. You want to swallow and refine a body like this? You're courting death." Seeing the Dark Lord do this, Yi Tianqiu gritted his teeth as if he had broken something, and let out a ripping sound. "Ah!" He roared angrily towards the sky. Fourth level, forbidden, boundless mana, open, rumble. The power in his body increased explosively once again. The fourth level of God's bone taboo opened. The entire infernal realm was crushed by his aura. Fart. Long Fei's mind could not take it anymore, and spat out a mouthful of blood, his face extremely pale. Lang Qianli and the others were crushed even more so. They were all lying on the ground, their faces looked as though they were about to die, feeling extremely miserable. "Master!" Boom, boom. Xiao Bai and the ice and fire uncontrollably attacked the war pet space. He couldn't bear it. Long Fei stared at Yi Tianqiu in the blink of an eye, his face filled with shock. The boss is going berserk. Pain. But Long Fei revealed an excited smile. At this moment, the bones on Yi Tianqiu's body turned black and emitted a cold light. A powerful demon phantom slowly crawled out from the top of his head. "Woo ha ha ha. Long Quangtian, go and die." A bone blade was pulled out, like a spear of death, it pierced through Long Quangtian's forehead. Long Quangtian glared at him furiously. Long Fei was burning with anxiety. He roared loudly, "Ancestor, my life is hanging by a thread." Yang Huang ancestor was also furious. His power exploded inside the dark demon's body. Break. Sister-in-law, 1, --plus health, strongest upgrade system. The dragon Salia flew out. Long Quangtian's right hand shot into the sky as he shouted excitedly, "Blade attack." The dragon Salia landed heavily in his hands. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. The sea is very grateful. 8_841923567993. Whoosh. Whoosh. Boom. One flying, one broken. Descend. It heavily fell into Long Quangtian's hands, just like an old friend that had not appeared for a long time. The moment he landed in Long Quangtian's hands, the surrounding space began to tremble, the entire hell was shaking, and the entire 18th floor of hell was trembling. The aura on Long Quangtian's body suddenly became different. Heh. Little Yin, you are going to see your father. Long Quangtian smiled sinisterly. Fourth level of the forbidden area. The bone spike in Yi Tiancho's hand pierced down ruthlessly, and he roared, "Long Quangtian, go and die." He was forced into a corner. The power of the third level of the taboo was not enough to kill Long Quangtian in a short period of time, so he desperately activated the fourth level of the taboo, a state filled with lawlessness. He just wanted to kill Long Quangtian before he got his hands on the dragon Salia. Break his primordial spirit. In that instant, Long Quangtian obtained the dragon Salia. Yi Tiancho did not retreat, there was excitement in his eyes, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit. The black bone blade was only 10 centimeters away from Long Quangtian's forehead. 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 1. The moment it was about to pierce into Long Quangtian's forehead, Yi Tiancho's body suddenly trembled, and continued to tremble. Pain. Incomparable pain. A vivid and lifelike illusion of the dark dragon god pierced through his body, causing him to look extremely sinister, his gigantic body locking him down tightly. His eyes drooped slightly as the dragon Salia entered his body. Long Quangtian revealed his blooded teeth as he smiled. "Little Yin, are you familiar with this pain?" Too terrifying. The illusory image of the dark dragon god was extremely sinister. This was not the first time this had happened. It was the second time, and the last time he did this, it was also because of this dark dragon god. Everyone was shocked. The instant his life was hanging by a thread, Long Quangtian attacked back. Is that the power of the dragon Salia? Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. Looking at the extremely lifelike image of the dark dragon god, he was extremely moved. Yang Huang ancestor said, "The dragon Salia in his hands has already reached the second stage of evolution. This is due to his power. Strength." Long Fei faintly said in his heart, "I'm already at the 6th level of the war god realm, is my strength not enough?" Yang Huang ancestor said, "Strength is not only the power of the realm, but also the power to coordinate with dragon Salia. However, speaking of which, this supreme artifact is really strong. Even in your ancestor's hands, the dragon Salia did not release its full power. Otherwise, it would be even more terrifying." Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. At this time, he was not in the mood to think about anything else. He stared at the HP above Yi Tiancho's head and said, "I need to think of a way to shoot him." At this moment, the dark demon slowly stood up, his stomach was ripped open, and fresh blood flowed wildly. Seeing Yi Tiancho's body being entangled by a huge black dragon, he cried out in shock, "Your Highness Demon King." Ah! The dark demon rushed forward recklessly. Long Quangtian frowned. He no longer had the power to deal with anyone. Although the attack of the dark demon wasn't as strong as Yi Tiancho's, but once his power smashed down, Long Quangtian wouldn't be able to take it either. Yi Tiancho's heart was in great pain, but he didn't waver in his desire to kill Long Quangtian. He continued to exert his strength and loudly shouted, "Kill him." The dark demon turned into a black fog and descended. At this moment, Long Fei's idea sank. 3-rate peerless technique. Open. Boom. The power of a level 6 war god completely exploded. Teleport. With a step forward, he blocked in front of Dark Demon. The god's devil blade in his hands moved and pointed at Dark Demon. "Your opponent is me." Ah! The dark devil was enraged. The dark fog began to churn. Dark 3 essence chi. "Open for me. I want to see if your speed is faster or mine." 3 gusts of dark fog rolled down. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and his breathing calmed down. He looked at the body of the dark demon, and started inhale, exhale, inhale. His body was constantly adjusting itself. Finally, we enter into a state of selflessness. It was also at this moment. His eyes were wide with fury. 1/kill. His figure moved, turning into a streak of light before disappearing. Just like a flash of white light, when he appeared again, his body had already landed behind the dark demon's back. It was also at this time that the dark demon's head flew up. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock. At that moment, he saw something that made him incomparably terrified. Death. The death of the primordial spirit. Boom. The head of the dark demon fell off. His body slightly trembled. After taking half a step forward, he also collapsed. Ding. The system sounded out. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Dark Demon for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark Demon Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark 3 Essence. Do you wish to cultivate it? The system sounded out. What a pity. Long Fei no longer had striking energy value. Huff. Long Fei became excited, looking at the set of the Dark Demon Divine Arts. The idea moved. Cultivate. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience points for cultivating Dark 3 Essence, 100 True Chi, 100 points reward. Skill path, Dark 3 Essence grade, Divine Body, Divine Body, Divine Soul, Divine Body, Divine Body, Divine Soul, 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 Divine Abilities. Proficiency, Wu Consumption, True Chi description. This cultivation technique is called Dark Magic. It is condensed in the Dark Demon Abyss, and possesses a strong power of darkness. Description 2. Able to defend, able to enter the body through darkness and defend against high damage. Able to attack and cause strong damage. Description 3. Once the Dark Chi is released, your body's defense will be reduced by 40%, increasing your attack by 40%. Looking at the description of the skill, Long Fei muttered in his heart, no wonder he reduced the damage he dealt to attack. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Long Fei to kill the Dark Demon. Ha ha ha. Kid, well done. You are truly worthy of being our Long family's seed. Long Quangtian laughed excitedly. The worry in his heart had also disappeared. The surrounding people also began to cheer. The young lord is mighty. The young lord is domineering. At this moment, Long Quangtian smiled slightly and said, Little Yin, all of your people have died. You demons have been in chaos in the South Horizon region for 1,000 years, so if I don't kill you, there will be no peaceful path for the South Horizon region. The reason why you demi-humans were killed was all because of you, demi-humans. Do you understand? Yi Tianqiu refused to accept it. Long Quangtian, even if I were to die today, I will definitely pull you down with me. Long Quangtian laughed. Why are you doing this? Back then when I was still young, I gave you a chance to be reincarnated and become a human. Yi Tianqiu had already fallen into a state of berserk madness. His eyes rolled back as he roared towards the sky. King Yama, are you still not going to make your move? Chapter 18_841923569794. Yi Tianqiu's voice fell. Yi Tianqiu's voice fell. Long Quangtian's face changed slightly as he exclaimed in his heart, this is bad. He had forgotten that this was hell and that there was a controller of the 18th level of hell, the king of hell. Ah, ha, ha, ah, ha, ha. King Yenluo's wild laughter spread throughout the sky. Is it finally my turn to fight? The sound exploded. The 18 levels of hell began to rumble. Long Quangtian's brows twitched, and said to Long Fei, quickly, leave. Leave. Where can I go? This is hell, and I am the sky here. Can you walk out of the control of the heavens? The voice of King Yama resounded arrogantly. He was in charge of the entire Ghost Manor in the South Horizon region. The 18 hells of hell was something he controlled all by himself. Just where could he go? Yi Tianqiu also laughed out loud, and said, Long Quangtian, you probably don't know yet, but the Long family junior in front of you is still a person. He's still a living person, not a dead person like you. Long Quangtian's heart trembled when he saw Long Fei's actions. His face was filled with excitement, and he started laughing out loud. Only the Long family would be able to cause such a ruckus like this in hell. Boy, you're too handsome. You're much more handsome than I am. At least, I couldn't have been able to do that back then. He really couldn't do it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died. Ah, ha, ha. King Yama laughed out wildly and said, so what if he's alive? So what if they were from the Long family? All of them will die today. Ah! It's King Yama, what should we do? What are you afraid of? What is there to be afraid of here? When I followed the young master, I never thought of leaving this place alive. Being able to do something so exciting in my lifetime, it's already more than enough. Young master, what do you think we should do? Everyone looked at Xiong Longfei. They knew that even if they recovered their peak strength, they would still not be a match for the King of Hell. However, he still wanted to do something extra for Long Fei and fight it out with him. Because they were extremely close to breaking through the 18th level of Hell. Long Fei also understood in his heart that these people could not bear King Yenluo's attacks and asked Yang Huang Ancestor, "Ancestor, how are your preparations going?" Yang Huang Ancestor said, "Brat, there is only one way to bring them out, death-calling God Seal. Only by absorbing all their primordial spirits into the death-calling God Seal would we be able to take them all out. You have to think this through. Once you absorb their primordial spirit into your divine seal, you won't be able to summon anything from hell. You can only release them." Simply put, Yang Huang Ancestor had modified the Yellow Springs summoning seal. Long Fei could only choose one, which would either maintain the power of the Yellow Springs summoning seal or choose these villains. Long Fei practically did not hesitate at all, and said, "I choose them. I've already torn myself to pieces with the King of Hell. Once I use the summoning divine seal, will he be able to summon me? That's impossible. And which sect in the entire South Horizon region has such great power over this previously famous War Emperor realm expert? Nantian sect. The Chao Heaven sect does not have any of them." Yang Huang Ancestor said, "All right, then I'll begin." Before he could finish, he infused one of his power into the death-calling God Seal, and after 2 seconds, he said to Long Fei, "All right, now let's see if they are willing to hand over their own primordial spirits or not." Long Fei turned around and asked, "Do you guys believe me?" And then Long Fei said heavily once again, "Do you believe that I can bring you out here? I can't bring you out of the 18 levels of hell, but into the world of living." The faces of all the villains changed. He was a bit confused. It was as if he didn't understand what was going on. Lang Qianli asked woodenly, "What did you say?" Long Fei repeated, "Do you believe that I can bring you out of hell and into the world of the living?" Gudong. Isn't this too crazy? Only a madman would think that. The underworld and the living world are two completely different worlds. How can I just rush out? However, seeing Long Fei's serious expression, Lang Qianli clenched his teeth and said, "Young master, just tell me what to do. I believe you. I believe in you too. I believe you. There's nowhere to run anyways, isn't it just to die again? Damn, it's as if you're talking about someone who hasn't died before. Ha ha ha. Young master, we'll listen to you." Seeing that everyone's blood was boiling, Long Fei did not beat around the bush, and said, "I want to absorb all of your origin souls into the divine seal, this way I can bring you out." Everyone was stunned again. The only thing they had left in this hell was their primordial spirit. Long Fei took out the death-calling God seal, and said, "This is the only way." Huff. Lang Qianli was ready to throw caution to the wind. The idea moved, releasing his own primordial spirit, and said, "I'll go first." Whoosh. After flying into the divine seal, everyone looked at each other in dismay, many of them taking half a step back. However, there were also quite a few people who released their primordial spirit and were absorbed by the Yellow Springs summoning seal. In less than half a minute, there were 1,500 villains, and 500 of them did not choose to release their primordial spirit. To them, primordial spirit was life. If he were to absorb the life from the divine seal, it would most likely be gone. Long Fei did not make it difficult for them, and said, "Quickly escape." Everyone had their own choices. 1,000 villains chose to believe that Long Fei had already exceeded his expectations. He couldn't force the other 500 places, so he could only give his blessings. Long Fei kept the Yellow Springs summoning seal, and turned to look at the amount of blood on Yi Tianchou's head. Similarly, the amount of blood on Long Guangtian's head was also running low. He had to hurry. The 500 villains looked at each other, then turned around and rushed back into the 17th level of hell. However, the King of Hell coldly laughed, "I've always wanted to purify the 18 levels of hell. You ants should be wiped out by now." While they were talking, a powerful force bombarded down from the King of Hell. Boom! With a loud sound, more than 500 villains were instantly killed. Long Fei turned his head to look. Yama Minamaya, fuck your ancestors. Although they didn't choose him, they were still brothers that had to struggle hard all the way. The anger in Long Fei's heart raged. King Yama laughed loudly. Don't worry, I'll be waiting for you soon. Now. I'll get rid of Long Quangtian first, then I'll kill you, you little bastard. King Yama was not in a hurry, he was not in a hurry at all. The eyes of 2 Yama kings appeared in the air. They stared at Long Quangtian and said, You have been in hell for 10,000 years, you should have been evolved by now, right? Strongest upgrade system. Long Quangtian's mind trembled. He currently did not have any extra strength to fight against the King of Hell. As long as the attack of the King of Hell falls, he would definitely die. His heart tightened. Long Quangtian asked, It doesn't matter if I die, King Yama, I want to ask you one last time. Just where did the ancestors of my Long family go? Chapter 28_841923566795. This was a problem that he had always wanted to figure out. This was a problem that he had always wanted to figure out. This was also the reason he entered the underworld. King Yangluo laughed maniacally. You have asked me 108,000 times already, but my answer is still the same. I just won't tell you. Finished. King Yama laughed sinisterly. However, you'll know very soon. Perhaps once your primordial spirit dies, you'll be able to find them. Long Quangtian, you have been a madman, for life as a ghost. Now, go to hell. As soon as he finished speaking, the monstrous shadow of the Yama King directly sent a beam of energy crashing down. It was aimed at Long Quangtian's head and bombarded downwards. It was also at this time. Whoosh! Long Fei moved and flew into the air, roaring, enchanted. Boom! Instantly transforming into the Sky Demon Beast, the Sky Demon set released the unconscious devil flames. Following that, Long Fei roared in his heart, Darkness Triuan Chi, protect your body. 3-rate peerless technique. 8 times the elemental energy, protect me. Boom! Long Fei's body exploded with power, all of his power being used to protect his body. Because he directly blocked the power of the King of Hell. It did not come crashing down. Phut! Long Fei's body sank, his face turned extremely pale, and at the same time, he spat out a large mouthful of blood. He used his body to block the attack. It was forcefully blocked. It was incomparably terrifying. His health point was rapidly decreasing, but Long Fei bellowed towards the sky, Come again. King Yama's gaze turned sinister. You dog, I'd like to see how many times you can bear with it. Death strike. Rumble. A black beam of light descended from the sky. This time, he did not attack Long Quangtian, but's body instead. Rumble. Long Fei's back exploded. The wings of the Sky Demon were broken. Long Fei's body also sank slightly, but he did not escape. He remained as arrogant as ever and said, King of Hell, you punk, come again. Ah! King Yama was also enraged. He roared, boom, rumble, rumble. Bang after bang of energy smashed onto Long Fei's body. Long Fei's body continued to sink, but he did not dodge. He endured the power of the King of Hell again and again. Unwell. It was hard to bear, but he managed to withstand it. The wings of the demonic was destroyed. The Sky Demon armor was also destroyed. If the holy artifact could not withstand the force of the attack from the King of Yama, how powerful was that power? The muscles of the upper half of Long Fei's body seemed as though they were made of copper water, as their lines were distinct and fresh blood seeped out of every pore of his body. Long Fei's entire body was drenched in blood. On his head, face, and mouth, his entire body was covered in blood as he crawled out of the blood pool. He did not retreat even half a step. Long Fei was as arrogant as before, and said, Boom, you're not awesome. Kill. Too arrogant, too overbearing. It was all based on a single breath. No matter how strong one's physical body was, it would not be able to withstand an attack like the one King of Hell's. King Yama was going crazy. The entire Netherworld kingdom was stunned. Even when he had faced the inhuman heavenly spirit King Yama back then, he did not do this. Now that he was forced to such a state by Long Fei, his heart was filled with incomparable rage. Huff, huff, huff. King Yama's breath was like flames. Long Fei said arrogantly, Aren't you heaven? Aren't you the chief sovereign of hell? Come on, come and kill me. Ha ha ha. I've said that I will overturn your 18th level of hell. Today, I'll definitely overturn it. Ha ha ha. Insolent to the point of being a complete mess. King Yangluo was so angry that smoke began to rise from his head. If he could enter the 18th level, he would instantly go down, but he couldn't enter right now, because he had to refine the 18th level of hell once again. This way, he absolutely could not go in. Arrogant, right? Arrogant, right? The bones of the people of the Long family are hard, right? King Yenluo's voice became gloomy, and he said, "Let me see how arrogant you are, and how many bones you have lost." Boom. As his voice faded, a golden light flashed in the sky. A judge. Natal implement. The judge's pen was like a golden sword that was floating in the sky. It was flashing with golden light and exuding a terrifying energy. Long Fei's heart sank, and his teeth clenched tightly. Holy *T. The natal implement has been summoned. Yi Tianqiu was initially extremely excited, but when he saw Long Fei, who was in midair, unceasingly blocking King Yenluo's attacks, his face darkened. "You dog." Long Quangtian was also shocked, speechless. "Little rascal, you." Even the Yang Huang ancestor did not expect this. Long Fei would use his own body to block King Yenluo's attacks, and in addition, it would be dozens of attacks. Long Fei grinned as he laughed extremely crazily. He was still as arrogant as before when facing the natal implement of King Yangluo, and said, "Senior, the people from Long family never admit defeat. Even if we have to face death, we have to continue to be arrogant." Ha ha ha. If he did not block it, Long Quangtian would definitely die. Long Quangtian was dumbstruck. He looked at Long Fei, and thought back to what Long Fei had said, "The people of Long family never admit defeat. If they live, they are crazy." Good, good, good. I almost forgot. This is a famous saying left behind by our ancestors. The people of Long family never admit defeat. If you are still alive, you have to continue being crazy. Long Quangtian's gaze darkened, and he said, "Brat, you are crazy. You are a son of the Long family." Ha ha ha. Long Quangtian suddenly laughed out wildly. His voice was low as he roared, "Become a dragon." Rumble. He had always been crushed to the ground by Yi Tianqiu, and had been forced back into his human form. However, at this moment, a burst of power exploded in his body, transforming into a huge dragon. At this moment, Long Quangtian was extremely sinister. The dragon Salia bit into his mouth, and the might of the dragon Salia was even more terrifying. Dragon Saber Unity. Dragon Slash. Die. Long Quangtian swung his huge tail, and his entire body flashed down like lightning. At this moment, Long Fei's heart trembled. At this time, he could not care so much and directly said, "Ancestor, please lend me a bit of your power." Yang Huang ancestor released a stream of energy. "Take it." Long Fei moved and roared in his heart, "No matter what, you must cause a little bit of damage, you must definitely." All his strength was used for defense. His own strength was exhausted. True Qi was exhausted. He was exhausted. His health point was also falling crazily, and King Yama's natal implement was about to fall. Under these kinds of circumstances, he would absolutely not be able to resist it. Ah! Long Fei roared. Just before Long Quangtian's attack with his dragon blade combined was released, he released a bit of Yang Huang ancestor's power. At the same time, the shining golden judge pen in the sky struck down at his head. Baidu search, half afloat you must die. Definitely. At this moment. If the supreme being of the spirit demon race, Yi Tianqiu, doesn't die, then he will die. Chapter 38_8419235676. The power of the Emperor. The power of the Emperor. Dragon Slash. The judge is going for his life. The three powers fell down at almost the same time. Long Fei's eyes widened, his fists clenched tightly, his heart extremely anxious. I have to catch up, I have to catch up, I have to. Rumble. 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 The earth quaked and the mountains shook. The entire 18th level of hell was shaking as if it was about to crack. Dust flew everywhere. It was impossible to see what was happening clearly. However, Long Fei did not feel any pain. However, King Yama's heavenly laughter rang out. At the same time, a system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yi Tiancho for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining God's Bone Taboo. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Goblin Tribe Sovereign Blood Vein. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Demon Eyes of Destruction. Do you wish to fuse them? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Extermination. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War God level 7. The system sounded out continuously. The voice ended. Long Fei became excited. Ha ha ha. King Yama, you won't be able to kill me. Ha ha ha. Upgraded. The injuries on his body healed in an instant. After leveling up, no matter how severe the injuries were, they would be instantly healed, and even the last bit of health point would be fully recovered. The true chi he used up also recovered in an instant. There was no pain at all in his body, and that was it. Long Fei laughed out wildly. I'm still alive. King Yama's forehead sank, and he started laughing maniacally. Ha ha ha. Kid, you are alive, but one of you is going to die. He could clearly feel the life-threatening power of the judge. If it wasn't Long Fei, then it must be someone else. At this moment, Long Fei's mind tensed up, he looked up, and suddenly a drop of blood landed on his face. Senior. Long Fei's voice darkened, the spirit chi released from his body shook the dust off, and his line of sight cleared up. Long Quangtian revealed a kind smile, his dragon back was stabbed into the judge's pen, and his dragon body was also quickly recovering. Seeing Long Fei, he was very happy, very happy. Long Fei was dumbstruck. Senior. He did not expect Long Quangtian to block this move for him. He felt extremely uncomfortable. Long Quangtian chuckled, I died a long time ago, don't be sad for me. He had to thank Long Fei. Because Long Fei had given him hope, and that kind of hope was something that he had been searching for in the past 10,000 years. When he saw Long Fei, he felt that Long Fei could pass on his will. To be able to do what he had not done. Long Fei's body started to tremble. No, no, Senior, I will bring you out, I will take you back to the Long family. Return to the Long family? Ha ha ha. King Yang Luo laughed crazily once again. You still want to meet Long family after coming to my territory? Little bastard, although your time is not up yet, but since you broke the rules and came to our underworld, then don't even think about leaving this place alive, and don't even think about leaving this place as a ghost. Boom. The eyes of the Yama king turned sinister. The judge pen on the dragon's back flew out and floated in the air. It once again pierced towards Long Quangtian. King Yama laughed disdainfully. Long Quangtian, you have been arrogant for your entire life, and in the end, you will still die by my hands. Ha ha ha. No. Long Fei roared. Without caring about anything else, Yang Huang ancestor immediately said, You are not this natal implement's opponent. Brat, you cannot go. His power immediately bound Long Fei. Not just Yang Huang ancestor. Long Quangtian's strength also suppressed Long Fei, and said, Kid, you must live, you must live. It doesn't matter if I die, as long as you can live. Boom. The judge's pen fell. Long Quangtian's spine was completely destroyed, and he immediately turned back into a human by the side of his dragon form. He then heavily smashed onto the ground, and nailed himself firmly to the ground. Rumble. An enormous crater exploded out on the ground as Long Quangtian was completely crushed. King Yama laughed out wildly. Ha ha ha. Long Quangtian, aren't you arrogant? Did it feel good now? Ha ha ha. You didn't expect such a day to come, did you? Within the underworld, Yama Minamaya had been helpless against Long Quangtian all this while, wanting to purify him. However, he had never succeeded. Now that he had crushed Long Quangtian, he was incomparably happy. Phut! Long Quangtian spat out a mouthful of blood and laughed. King Yama, is that all you've got? Ha ha ha. It's not enough to tickle me. You can still be crazy at a time like this. I really admire you, Long Quangtian. As long as you kneel down and kowtow to me, I will spare your dog life. The king of hell proudly laughed. Long Quangtian smiled blandly. King Yang Luo, I still remember when you knelt down and begged for mercy. Not waiting for him to finish. King Yama was once again enraged. You're courting death. It was his scar. His heart was in eternal pain. That year, he knelt in front of Long Quangtian. That kind of scene had made him feel extremely unhappy all these years. His hatred had never disappeared, and he had always wanted to deal with Long Quangtian as well. So much so that he agreed to all of Yi Tianchou's requests. Unexpectedly, Yi Tianchou was still killed. However, it doesn't matter. The current Long Quangtian no longer had any room to retaliate. The judge's brush once again flew into the air, and said coldly, Long Quangtian, you're not going to kneel, are you? All right. You want this little bastard to leave hell alive? I'm going to let him die here. I'll give you another chance now. Kneel down and kowtow to me, or else I'll kill him. King Yama's gaze darkened as he stared at Long Fei. Long Fei's gaze tightened, and said, if you have the guts, then blast me to death right now. Not waiting for him to finish. Plop. Long Quangtian suddenly knelt down and kowtowed heavily, and said, you have one, I beg you, please spare his life. Kneeling. Long Fei was dumbstruck. Suddenly, he thought of the kneeling Liu Luoshi had given him, and crazily shouted in his heart, Senior. King Yama laughed complacently, Long Quangtian, you have such a day, ha ha ha. You have never knelt in your entire life, and now you are finally kneeling before me. Ha ha ha. He was laughing gleefully. Even Yama Minamaya himself was surprised. He did not expect Long Quangtian to kneel down right away. Baidu sister-in-law AA half. Floating life strongest upgrade system Long Quangtian said slightly, I'm kneeling, I'm fine with anything you want me to do. I'm begging you, let him leave the underworld. Ha ha ha. You don't like the way you kneel? King Yama laughed sinisterly, but you want me to let him go? Then do I have any face at all? The more you care about him, the more I want to kill him, ha ha ha. Chapter 48_841923569797. Shameless. Shameless. Despicable and shameless. The anger in Long Fei's heart was also raging non-stop. Liu Luoshi's kneeling caused him to be incomparably furious. At that time, he was unable to protect his own woman, unable to overturn Hong Tianjun. Now, this person was even his ancestor, the Long family. Kneeling twice also made Long Fei especially unhappy. Anger. This anger made Long Fei go crazy. Long Quangtian said as he furrowed his brows, King Yama, are you really not afraid of the heaven's retribution because of how despicable you are? Ha ha ha. Long Quangtian, I have always been so despicable and shameless, can you bite me? Looking at Long Quangtian kneeling on the ground and kowtowing to him, he was incomparably happy. Long Fei became angry and said, Child Yama, do you really think this daddy is afraid of you? King Yama was enraged and sneered coldly, if I, Long Quangtian, am able to suppress him, how can a mere Long family like you be able to overturn the heavens? How about this? Little bastard, kneel down and kowtow to me right now. I will let you live, and I will also let Long Quangtian live. Kneel down and kowtow. The king of hell had a playful expression. Anger raged within Long Fei's heart as he leapt up and roared, I'll kneel to your 8 ancestors. As he was in the air, Long Fei's strength was aimed at the judge pen and smashed down heavily. Boom. The judge hurriedly retracted his pen and disappeared. Long Fei's attack missed. King Yama laughed, ha ha ha. You're too weak. However, since you are willing to kneel, then go to hell. The center of Yama Minamaya's brows sunk as the judge's pen drew out a golden lightning bolt that struck Long Fei. Long Fei was not the least bit afraid. There was only anger. His gaze darkened as he said, let's see who kills who then. Long Quangtian shouted loudly, be careful. At this moment. Boom. Wang. A dark purple energy exploded and sent the pen flying. Then, all the purplish-black flames quickly condensed. The sky spirit walked out from the purplish-black-colored flames. He faced the sky and revealed a sinister and evil sneer as he said, King Yama, you can't touch him. Heavenly spirit. Long Quangtian's expression changed, Body of evil. The space between Yama King's eyebrows shook. You. The natal implement flew away. Compared to before he had entered the 18 hells, the divinities were much stronger. At this moment, black symbols covered his entire body, making him look extremely malevolent. As soon as he finished, the heavenly spirit halo landed beside Yi Qianqiu's corpse, the corner of its mouth slightly curled, and said, "Give me your strength. Absorb." With the heavenly spirit sucking in, the power within the black bones in Yi Qianqiu's body was sucked into his body crazily, and the baleful yin force in his body underwent a rapid transformation. Madly getting stronger. The black bones on Yi Qianqiu's body started to decay one by one. He turned into powder. Yi Qianqiu also returned to his scholar form. Then, with a gust of wind, his body turned into dust and disappeared. Huff. It would be even better if I could open the 5th level of the Forbidden Zone. But, that's enough. The heavenly spirit smiled slightly, turned around, and looked at Long Fei. The corners of his mouth hooked up as he said coldly, "You set up the seal in my body. Break." Boom. With a huge explosion, the seal in his mind was instantly broken through. His eyes also became more evil. The seal was set up by the Yang Huang ancestor. It didn't matter if he did not break through Long Fei's defense. If it was him, he wouldn't even set up sealess for the Holy Spirit realm. Now he had broken through. Long Fei looked at him and said, "I'll break through then. I don't have time for you right now. I don't care if you are a body of evil or something like that, I have no interest right now. You either stand to the side and watch, or scram." He had a strange expression on his face. There was only one thing that Long Fei wanted to do right now, to overturn King Yama. The sky spirit got angry and said coldly, "You dare to talk to me like that?" Long Fei's eyes shook, and he angrily shouted, "Scram." Finished. Long Fei did not even bother to look at the heavenly spirit. Not to mention that he was not even heavenly spirit King Kong, Long Fei would not even bother to look at him. Because he is Long Fei. The sky spirit became angry, and said in a deep voice, "If I didn't want to borrow your power to leave hell, you would already be dead." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei was also extremely angry. He took a step forward, 3-rate peerless technique, explode. Demon eyes of destruction, fuse. Long Fei unleashed his power and rushed to the side of the heavenly spirit, Devil Snake's eye. Boom. A stream of petrification power shot out. The heavenly spirit's reaction was extremely fast. It could be said to be a god, but it was still petrified, because Long Fei's speed was not slow either. His fists moved. He struck out with all his might, punching the sky spirit in the face, roaring, "Stop being cocky in front of me." Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Such crazy attacks. His fists were like a torrential downpour as they landed on the face of the celestial spirit. The rage that exploded from his body ruthlessly smashed out. Each time was heavier and stronger than the last. Before the celestial spirit could react, it was completely crushed. Moreover, Long Fei didn't give him any chance to resist at all. Every time he was hit, it would land on his butt, causing flowers to bloom on his butt. The sound of the punches rang out. "If you hit the sky spirit, you can't take care of yourself." Long Fei glared at him. "Today, I'll teach you a lesson in place of your mother. I'll give it a try in front of me in the future. Try speaking to me in a weird tone and see how I deal with you." Finished. Long Fei didn't even look back as he walked to the other side and stared at the King of Hell. "It's your turn." The sky spirit in the deep pit was very unhappy. He started to cry unhappily. His ass was blooming. The pain was so excruciating. The heavenly spirit crawled up and flew into the air, staring fiercely at Long Fei, and said, I hate you." Long Fei raised his gaze, stared at the heavenly spirit in the sky, shouted, and said, "What did you say?" The sky spirit immediately shrank. Long Fei shouted again, "Why are you flying so high? I don't like to talk, look up and get down." The heavenly spirit wanted to resist, but when it saw Long Fei's expression, it immediately flew down. Then, Long Fei looked at the sky again and said, "King Yama, it's your turn. Don't you want to kill me? Now use your natal implement to blast it away." King Yenluo's eyes turned cold as he said, Let me see what you are capable of. The idea moved. The judge pen once again released a streak of golden lightning that struck Xiong Longfei. Longfei's eyes turned sinister. He was sent flying with a single step. Just when he wanted to cut down the judge's pen, the sky spirit took a step forward and roared, "King Yama, what the hell do you have to say? Power of the Dosed. Ruins." A purplish-black power was drawn on his fists. With a sudden attack, a powerful force rushed out. This was an attack of incomparable fury from a heavenly spirit, and its power was especially terrifying. He hit the judge's pen heavily. Boom! The judge's pen flew out, piercing through the thick clouds. Equals half carat float # life carat crack. The sky split open. The 18th level of the infernal realm had been broken. Charge out. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. 8_8419235678. Charge out. Charge out. He broke through. He broke through the 18th level of hell. It was pierced by the natal implement judge pen used by the Yama king. In that instant, Long Fei shouted without hesitation, "Go out and kill them." King Yang Luo was startled. "You want to go out? It's not that easy." As soon as he finished, King Yang Luo muttered to himself, "Purification of the dead soul and refining of the heavenly might, open for me." A surge of power burst out from his body, instantly covering the entirety of the 18 hells. At this moment, the 18 hells opened up with the purification power. "This is bad." The Yang Huang ancestor shouted, "The 18 levels of hell have started to cleanse. This Yama king has gone mad as well. He wants to use the power of heaven to refine everything within the 18 levels. Including you." King Yang Luo laughed out wildly and said, "Just wait until you become a part of hell, ha ha ha." The forehead of the sky spirit shook as well. Long Quangtian looked at Long Fei, his eyes tensed up as he said, "Charge out." King Yama laughed. "Charge out? Do you think my 18th level of hell is so easy to break out of? Long Quangtian, you're thinking too much." When he activated the power of purification of the heaven's might, the 18 layers that were pierced by the judge's brush started to recover at an extremely fast speed. Whoosh! Long Quangtian took a step forward and transformed into a dragon. Roar! He released a dragon's roar and used his own body to be stuck in the crevice. He shouted at Long Fei, "Charge out." Long Fei's heart trembled. "Senior." The sky spirit could not care so much, and shouted, "Do you still want to leave the underworld alive? You don't want to, but I want to. Hurry up." The sky spirit took a step forward and landed at the crack. Even though Long Quangtian had turned into a dragon, his body was still constantly accumulating blood, and he was frantically spitting out blood. King Yang Luo laughed maniacally, and said, "Long Quangtian, I would like to see whether your physical body is stronger than mine, or my power of purification. This is the power of the higher ups, ha ha ha." Seeing Long Quangtian violently spurting blood, King Yama was exceptionally happy. Although Long Fei could not bear to do so, at this time, he did not hesitate either. He rushed to the crevice and looked at Long Quangtian, who was in pain. Long Quangtian looked at Long Fei and said, "Kid, Long family will depend on you." Long Fei said, "Senior, I." Long Quangtian thought that Long Fei was going to talk about the matter of his own negative activation to dragon blood, so he smiled and said, "The first-generation patriarch is also a part of the negative activation to dragon blood, but he is the strongest person in our Long family. You will also definitely become the strongest warrior in Long family. There's more. Brat, I am the 50th generation patriarch of the Long family. From my previous generation, the strong warriors of the Long family have mysteriously disappeared. The thousands of strong warriors of the 500th generation have disappeared. No one knows where they went to. In order to find the answer, I came to the underworld. I didn't expect them to not be here. If possible, you must find those seniors. Something big must have happened to Long family. You must find out. We can't let this Long family repeat the same mistake again. Do you understand?" Phut! While speaking, Long Quangtian spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His purpose in coming to the underworld was very simple. He wanted to find out where the ancestor of the Long family had gone to. Because In his era, the first 500 generations of patriarchs were not dead yet. They were all the strongest people on this continent, and the Long family was an existence that no one could shake. However, they suddenly disappeared overnight, and everything about them disappeared as if they had never existed. Long Quangtian kept searching, but even at the moment of his death, he had not found any clues. Even after entering the underworld, he still did not find anything. The thousands of experts in Long family would not be able to suddenly evaporate all of a sudden. At that time, there was no one in the Tianwu continent who could achieve such a feat. Long family was unrivaled at that time. Long Quangtian knew that there must be some secret hidden inside, or the arrival of the Heaven Ranker caused all of them to. He had not been able to find it in his entire life. Right now, his will had to be passed down to Long Fei, and Long Fei had to find the answer to the secret of the Long family. Because he was not only Long Fei. Furthermore, he was the new master of the Dragon Salia. Just now, he felt that the Dragon Salia's might was very strong, very strong. Even the Dark Dragon God had taken a liking to Long Fei, so the ancestor of Dark Dragon God chose Long Fei. This also meant that he had to bear everything that belonged to the Long family. After Long Quangtian finished speaking, he said, "Kid, the rise of the Long family is dependent on you. You must unravel the secret of the Long family, and must definitely find the ancestor of the Long family. Remember, our Long family and the dragon race are closely related. You must remember this. You must find the Long family and the dragon region. You must." Looking at Long Quangtian's pale face, Long Fei could not say a single word, and could only keep nodding his head. Long Quangtian laughed crazily. "King Yama, come." Roar! His body suddenly exploded, and the power of a dragon burst out, once again breaking through the rift. It was also at this time. Long Quangtian swung his tail, immediately grabbing Long Fei and roared, "Escape." King Yama's heart sank. "Long Quangtian, don't even think about it." Long Fei was dumbstruck. She pulled him back and looked at Long Quangtian, thinking in her heart, "The people from the Long family. Who exactly are they?" Long Fei rushed out of the 18 layer of hell. At this moment, Long Quangtian looked at Long Fei and laughed wildly. "People of the Long family never admit defeat, never lose. If you survive, you have to be crazy. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. To live on is to be crazy." Long Quangtian's wild laughter resounded throughout the 18 levels of hell. Then, his two malevolent eyes stared at a certain place. "King Yama, I'll send you off." "You. What do you want to do?" "Long Quangtian, what do you want to do?" "You madman, madman, you." The king of hell trembled, as the power of his idea frenziedly surged forth. But it was tightly bound by Long Quangtian. Long Quangtian laughed wildly once again. "Ha ha ha. Dragon explosion. Rumble. Rumble." A violent explosion rang out and the entire ghost realm was shaking. The entire 18th level of hell was collapsing and King Yama let out a roar like a pig being butchered. It was incomparably painful. Dragon explosion. The dragon crystal Long Quangtian cultivated with completely released all of the power within it. It exploded outwards like a primordial spirit explosion, and the consequences were unimaginably terrifying. This explosion. Long Quangtian was also dead. However, even if he didn't explode, he wouldn't be able to live long. The injuries on his body were too severe. He was being suppressed by Yi Tianqiu, and he was being suppressed by King Yama's natal implement. Moreover, when he saw the future of Long family on Long Fei, he was gratified that he had no choice but to do so for Long Fei's sake. Rumble. Floating life. Table of contents. No windows. The moment Long Fei charged out of the 18th level of hell, he felt a pitilessly powerful energy rush out. Even the sky spirit was pale with fright. Too strong. Ah, ha, ha. King Yama was still alive. Chapter 18_841923567799. Phut. 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 King Yama's estate. King Yenluo's face was pale, his clothes were torn, and he looked to be in an extremely sorry state. His entire body was spurting out blood. His expression was one of extreme anger. "Damn it, damnable Long Quangtian, since you're using the dragon explosion, King Yama was furious. And then, the King of Hell's forehead twitched as thousands of energies burst out from his body. It was also at this time. Ah! 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 In the ghost city, millions of undead ghosts let out a blood-curdling screech and vanished into thin air. Half a minute. King Yama's body rapidly recovered, and his face turned red. After absorbing the power of tens of thousands of ghosts, his body was finally fully healed. Ha ha ha! King Yangluo laughed wildly and said, Long Quangtian, you want to blow me to death? With just you. Woo ha ha ha! You are dead now, and the next step will be the lame duck of the Long family. In the future, I will let the people of the Long family live in nightmares forever. I really want to see how your Long family will continue to rise to prominence. The King of Hell was furious. He stared at Oxhead and shouted, Have you found the person I told you to look for? Oxhead immediately reported, Lord, we've found it. All right. In my territory, I want to see how you will fight me. Ha ha ha. Now that Long Quangtian was already dead, what was there for him to be afraid of? No one needs to be afraid. He did not even put a mere Long Fei in his eyes. He wanted to fiercely torture Long Fei to death. Horseface asked carefully, Sir, what do we do now? King Yama said, Wait until he rush out and let me search through the entire city. They must be somewhere in Ghost City. Send out all the evil spirits. We must find him. Yes, sir. The 18 levels of hell had collapsed. Long Fei and the heavenly spirit was also blasted out by the shockwaves. It was as if they had crawled into a tunnel of time. A few minutes later. Bam! Long Fei and the Holy Spirit were in the same room. At this moment. Little beauty, I'm here, hey. I just finished looking at the second half of my sister-in-law's allure. I can't take it anymore. An evil ghost rubbed his hands together. He was extremely excited as he muttered, This time, it will definitely be possible. This time, it will definitely be possible. There's already a reaction. Heh heh. He rushed to the bed with a hungry look on his face. The woman with her hands and feet tied continued to struggle as she cried out, Help! Help! Someone help! Someone help! The evil ghost saw her struggling and became even more excited. Even if you scream until your throat breaks, no one will save you. You just have to listen obediently. The woman was stupefied. Break my throat, break my throat, break my throat. The evil ghost trembled and was a bit confused. Are you retarded? I don't care. I've endured for 10 days, and was almost killed when I took a few pills. If I see that kid again, I'll definitely twist his head off. Just thinking about it made the evil ghost feel infuriated. Gave him a rank fierce pill, which he did not pour out in one night. Indeed, he didn't fall. It was extremely firm and sharp. It was even more powerful than a small steel cannon. However, once he straightened up, his stomach would churn and his butt would crackle like firecrackers, uncontrollably pulled out. Moreover, it was a mess. As he was feeling uncomfortable and spitting shit on his butt, the room was filled with an unpleasant smell of feces. He thought he was too nervous. He softened and did it again, but the result was the same again. The front was as firm as a small steel gun, while the back was crackling with firecrackers. The rhythm was simply invincible. 10 days. The medicinal effect of the pill lasted for a full 10 days. It was so powerful that it was practically unstoppable. Huff. Fortunately, Master Huang was here. It was his sister-in-law who saved me. Ha ha ha. Little beauty, today you are mine. Bring it on. The evil ghost rushed forward. He started chewing on the girl. At this moment, there was a bang sound in the room. The evil ghost was instantly angered. Who the hell wants to die? You dare to disturb this father? Do you think I won't kill you? He turned around and looked. He stared straight ahead as the anger in his heart flared up. Good boy, so it turns out to be you, little bastard. I have been looking for you for a whole 10 days. I didn't expect you to bring us here yourself. Long Fei looked at him, then at the woman on the bed, and laughed. Is my pill good? You. The evil ghost had a hideous expression and the anger in its heart burned even brighter. It lifted its sleeves and took out the remaining 2 pills from its bosom. It shouted, Today, I will let the heavens down. He took a step forward. He directly pounced forward, locking Xiong Longfei's throat with one hand and putting the pill into Longfei's mouth with the other. But right at this moment, Longfei slightly moved his right leg to block the attack. Bam! The evil ghost fell down like a dog eating shit. Then, the two pills were mysteriously eaten in his mouth. Longfei's footsteps shook. Yi Zichen sent him flying, and with a slap of his right palm, he sent the two pills in his mouth directly into his stomach. Gudong. The evil ghost's face changed, then, crackling sounds started coming from his buttocks. It was even more intense this time. It was not the sound of firecrackers, but, rather, the kind that keeps trains close to the tunnels, and besides, her face was completely red. His legs were tightly clamped, but he was unable to control himself. Crack! The evil ghost directly rushed through the door and threw it into the toilet, loudly shouting, I will definitely kill you. I will definitely kill you. Ha ha ha. The woman on the bed laughed loudly. It's already the 11th day. Longfei looked at the girl and thought to himself, wow, I didn't think that the effects of the pellet would be maintained for so long. I should need it more next time. Actually, Longfei did not know. When he was refining the steel mixture, his body absorbed the fierce aura from many of the spirit grass. The medicinal pills he knocked out naturally contained the fierce strength. However, most of it was from the force of leaking out. The front was firm, while the back continuously flowed. This kind of feeling was too good to be ignored. The lady then looked at Longfei and said with a serious face, shouting throat breaking is indeed useful. If anyone dares to bully me in the future, I will scream throat breaking, humph. The evil spirits were bombing the latrine. Boom, boom, boom. It was impossible to leave the toilet in a short period of time, so Longfei was not in a hurry to deal with him. He looked at the Sky Soul and asked, do you want to leave? With a grin, the man said, if I didn't go out, why would I have followed you? Longfei glared at him. The sky spirit immediately lowered its head and replied fearfully, yes. Thinking about the scene of his butt blooming, he started to fear. He was a body of evil, he was not afraid of the heavens, not even the king of hell could kill him. Table of contents, equals semi-floating life plus, he didn't know why he was so afraid of Longfei spanking him. Actually, he did not know, and Longfei himself did not know, that he carried the will of his mother, hence he was afraid. Longfei said, I can leave, but the condition is that I have to kill King Yang Luo. Chapter 28_8419235680. Long Quangtian had died for him. Long Quangtian had died for him. Kneel for him. He had no choice but to take revenge. Moreover, King Yama was despicable and shameless. His sinister and despicable appearance made Longfei feel extremely unhappy. Also, there was another reason. King Yama was the boss, the strongest boss in the underworld. If Longfei didn't kill him, it would be boring even if he left, so he had to kill King Yama no matter what. However, he had one more important thing to do before that. Find Xie Qin. This was the reason why he came to the underworld and he had to fulfill it. This was also his promise to Xie Qin and the other female disciples of Evil Sound Sect. He did not want to disappoint them. Thinking about Evil Sound Sect, Longfei felt a chill in his heart. I wonder what happened to them first. As for Li Yuanbar and Ahut, they don't know what's going on either. I hope you're all okay. In another place. Evil Sound Sect. Archio, who's thinking of me? I missed you so much. Hurry, that 10,000 blade sect person is charging up again. Ahut said disdainfully. Li Yuanbar's eyes turned cold. Mother ***, it has already been 10 months, wouldn't it only end with death? I will definitely cripple them today. 10 months. For the next 10 months, the so-called orthodox sects continued to besiege the Evil Sound Sect. All of them wanted to snatch the Evil Sound Sect's, and this was the place with the densest amount of spiritual chi of heaven and earth. These second-rate sects were just cannon fodder. The people who truly wanted to get their hands on this place were the big sects. They were the masterminds. However, they didn't appear. Because Longfei. Long Fei being able to kill the 7 great demon sects was something that they were afraid of, but for an entire 10 months, since Long Fei destroyed the Bloodsea sect, he had not appeared again. Will he die? Maybe. With the death of that brat Long Fei, the evil sound sect would no longer pose any threat. No matter what, we have to send more people to take care of this place before the new year. This is our best gift to the Heaven sect. Hong Tianjuan's grand wedding. Ha ha ha. The current power of the Heaven sect surpasses Nantian sect. If we perform well, we might become a branch of the Heaven sect in the future. Ha ha ha. Tell our brothers to work harder. We must take down the evil sound sect. There is only one mountain left. The 7 great demon sects were quickly overrun. The sects that had been occupied quickly followed the sects. Among them, there were 4 sects that had followed the Heaven sect, and the Devil sect that they had taken over was also quickly taken over by the disciples of the Heaven sect. With these places where the spiritual chi of heaven and earth was richer, the Heaven sect's power had increased by leaps and bounds over the past year. As long as they could take down the evil sound sects, the Heaven sect would basically become the overlords of the southern domain, completely surpassing their former number 1 sect, Nantian sect. It was all because of one person. Hong Tianjun. All because of his influence. The title of number 1 genius of the South Horizon region had tremendous influence. Jiyu Hun stood at the top of the mountain, seeing the countless disciples charging towards him from the evil sound peak, his brows knitted tightly, and thought to himself, Long Fei, where did you go in the end? Wild Ghost's expression was also very ugly as he said, Old soul, all the things that we have done in the past few years have all gone to waste. There is basically no hope for the devil race to rise again. Sigh. The era of the South Horizon region's demons is completely over. As the 2 demon elders, they had already lost their confidence in the future of the demon race. They looked at Li Yuanba and Ahat, and this made them feel gratified. Underworld. With a smile, she replied, You're the boss, the boss. I just want to go out and take revenge for my mother. I also want to find that person and ask him why he abandoned us and why he wants to kill us. At this moment, one of the imps walked into the yard and said loudly, Boss, the sect master has gathered everyone. He has an urgent mission, you. Crack. The toilet was still being bombed. The little ghost pinched his nose and shook his head as he sighed, Boss, why do you have to go through so much trouble? Forget it. I'll go ask for a leave of absence for you. If you go like this, I'm worried that the sect master will beat the shit out of your ass. The kid shook his head and sighed. He turned around and was about to leave. The evil ghost wanted to call out to him, but he was too exhausted to even make a sound. Long Fei slightly said, It seems that King Yang Luo still does not know our position. All right then, Tianling, before I kill King Yang Luo, I want to find someone. Who are you looking for? Long Fei said, This is my purpose in going to the underworld, to find my sister's 3 souls and 7 souls. The heavenly spirit asked again, Who is your sister? Maybe I do. Long Fei rolled her eyes at him. Although she did not want to die, she still said it out loud, Xie Qin. The man shook his head and said, I don't know him. At this moment, the lady on the bed muttered, Xie Qin, big sister? Could it be that you are Long Fei? Long Fei rolled his eyes as he looked at the girl who was a little retarded on the bed. Other people would say that no one would come to save her even if she had a broken throat, but she actually kept on shouting break your throat, break your throat. However, hearing the woman say this, he immediately asked, You know my sister? The woman said, We did. We died on the same day. She kept on telling me that she had a very handsome younger brother. He was the best younger brother in the world. Long Fei's heart was ignited with hope. He immediately went forward and asked, Where is she? As long as he could find Xie Qin, he no longer had any misgivings. The woman muttered, You don't know? They were captured by the members of the Oxhead gang, and I was also captured at that time. As for where, I don't know. The Oxhead gang? King Yama. Long Fei's heart trembled, and thought to himself, Looks like you already knew my purpose for coming to the underworld. Hearing Long Fei's words, the sky spirit's face secretly changed. Mother. Finished. He didn't stop at all. directly becoming a beam of light and flying towards his mother's residence. Long Fei didn't even have the time to stop him. "Thank you." Long Fei thanked the woman and untied the rope in her hand. Then, he followed her out of the room and went to the toilet and asked, "Where is the main rudder of the Oxhead gang?" When the evil ghost heard Long Fei's voice, it huffed and puffed and said, "Brat, you're dead. If you dare to provoke this daddy, I will." Long Fei picked up a big rock and blew it into the latrine. Bam! The evil spirit's buttocks were full of black maggots. Long Fei shouted, "Are you telling me or not? Damn you. I say, is that not okay?" The evil ghost wanted to die. "It's in the biggest courtyard on the east side of the city. You can see it immediately." Long Fei asked coldly. And then, with a move of his right hand, the dragon's salyer landed on his hand. With a slash of the blade, it shattered the latrine and the evil ghost instantly fell into the latrine. It directly submerged his head and started to crazily shout inside. Equals semi-floating life plus. Long Fei also turned into a ball of light and rushed to the east side of the city. At this moment, the woman walked over to the latrine and picked up a large stone from the ground and threw it down one by one. "Call out. No one will be able to save you even if you scream until your throat breaks." The evil ghost shouted, "Break your throat. Break your throat." Chapter 38_841923568001. Search the entire city. Search the entire city. As long as you find traces of that kid, come back and report. Understood. Understood. The Oxhead Gang's plaza was filled with thousands of evil spirits. Oxhead frowned and said, "Whether or not you can become the deputy city lord is up to you." Before he could finish his words, boom! A ray of light descended, directly turning the main gate of the Oxhead Gang's courtyard into ruins. "Who ate Bearheart Leopard? You dare to behave atrociously in the Oxhead Gang? I think he's tired of living." Several evil spirits clamored. Long Fei stood up and raised his eyes slightly. The dragon's salyer on his shoulder flashed with a cold light and the corners of his mouth drew back as he said with a smile, "I only have one sentence." Scram! The entire courtyard was silent. They all stared at Long Fei with their eyes wide open. Half a second later, "Little bastard, you actually dared to come here and act so atrociously. Scram back into your mother's stomach. Kill him. Why don't you take a look at this place? You must be tired of living. Lousy will let you die again." All the ferocious tigers pounced at Long Fei, each of them extremely ferocious. It was also at this time Oxhead's expression turned cold. "Little bastard, you're finally here. Kill him. Kill him. Whoever can kill him will become the gang leader of the Oxhead Gang." Oxhead immediately shouted in anger, "Let's see what kind of flowers you can produce." At first, there were only a few dozen disciples surrounding them, but this time, several thousand disciples surrounded them. It was also at this moment. Long Fei's eyes were sinister as he sneered, "You have already lost your chance to live." The aura on his body stirred. Once the dragon's salyer descended, it clenched tightly with its right hand. The power of the war god realm and the energy aura of the dragon's salyer began to interweave, fusing together as one. Buzz! With a burst of aura, the dark blade aura on the dragon's salyer shot up into the sky. He was enraged. The figure of the dark dragon god roared, and Long Fei rushed out. The dragon's salyer in his hands shook, and his blade aura swept out like a raging wind. Berserk slash! Long Fei disappeared into the violent wind as the dragon's salyer started to dance wildly. All the evil spirits in the yard were sucked into it. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk a crazy critical strike. His blade technique was as fast as lightning. At this moment, the system beep exploded. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Oxhead Gang minions, Luo for obtaining 100 experience points, 800 true chi and 1 energy values. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for getting 100 experience points for killing Oxhead Gang minion Luo, 80 true chi, 1 energy values. The system beep was about to explode. However, it was not as much as the experience that Long Fei had gained in the past. The higher Long Fei's level was, the fewer monsters that would have less and less experience than him. Just like how it was in the game, the experience for you to kill level 1 monsters at level 50 was basically 0. In the past, Long Fei was only a war master realm, but now, he was a war god realm. They were completely two different people. Sure. 10 seconds later, a gale began to descend. The entire courtyard was filled with broken limbs, heads, and fresh blood flew everywhere. It was as if Long Fei had scared a storm of blood, as he stood in the center of the courtyard, allowing the fresh blood to flow freely. You are cruel. Your father is 100 times more brutal than you. You have more people. I will kill them all. At this moment, Oxhead's scalp went numb. He stared at Long Fei, who was in the courtyard, and said, You, madman, are completely a madman. Kill thousands of people in 10 seconds. What kind of concept was this? Too terrifying. Long Fei grinned and laughed sinisterly, saying coldly, I'll only say it once, where is Xie? Think it through. Because you only have this one chance. Oxhead gulped down a mouthful of saliva. His entire body was trembling as he looked at the blood rain that was continuously pouring down from the sky and looked at Long Fei's terrifying and gloomy eyes. He felt that he was in even more pain than death. His lips began to tremble as he said, Yes, in the City Lord's mansion. Sure. Long Fei's blood shadow moved, instantly landing behind Oxhead's body. A trace of blood appeared on Oxhead's neck. He wiped away the blood in his hands and said, I already told you, why did you? Before he could finish his words, its head rolled down from its neck and landed heavily on the ground. Its eyes widened as it stared at Long Fei. Long Fei swung his dragon salyer on top of his shoulder and said, I didn't say I won't kill you. And then, Long Fei once again turned into a ball of light and rushed toward the direction of Yang Luo's palace. In another place, the location of the Celestial Mother. Corpses were strewn across the field, and almost all the disciples of the Horseface Hall had died here. With 2 purple eyes staring at Horseface, she asked solemnly, Where did my mother go? Horseface continuously retreated as his face turned pale. No, I don't know. I don't know. Sure. With a jolt, she raised Horseface into the air and said sinisterly, I'll ask you one more time, where did you get my mother to go? His mother was his reverse scale. The reason why he had transformed into a body of evil was also because of that hatred. Now that his mother had disappeared, he was extremely furious. Horseface was scared to the point of peeing his pants. He said, City Lord's mansion. She was captured and taken to the City Lord's mansion. Let me go, Ah. With a mournful scream, Horseface's entire body turned black. With a bang, his body cracked open and turned into ashes. The black eyes of the Sky Spirit stared at the City Lord's mansion and said solemnly, King Yama, if you dare touch my mother, I will kill you. King Yama's estate. King Yama looked at Xie and said, Did you know that Long Fei came to save you? Xie looked at Yama, his expression tightened and his body trembled slightly. King Yama laughed, however, he cannot save you, because he will die here as well. Xie body trembled even more violently as he said, My lord, I am willing to stay in the underworld for my entire life and not reincarnate. If not, I beg you to spare my life. King Yang Luo laughed, Not reincarnated. Ha ha ha. Under my control, whoever can be reborn, can be controlled by me. You? TMPH, they don't even have the right. The reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I want you to properly watch how Long Fei is trampled under my feet. The person who tramples on Long family is the person that I like to sit on the most in my entire life. King Yama smiled with incomparable pride. At this moment, the sky suddenly darkened. After releasing the power of the sky sound wave, Long Fei roared angrily, King Yang Luo, get the hell out here right now. 36O search. Half floating / equals rumble. Rumble. The sound waves rumbled like thunder, crazily crushing the City Lord's mansion. King Yang Luo smiled faintly. He grabbed Xie neck with one hand and the Heavenly Spirit's mother with the other, and walked out as if she was a little chick. Chapter 48_841923568002. Rumble. 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 A thunderous boom resounded in the entire Yama residence. Aside from the city lord's residence, all of the buildings had been turned into ruins by Long Fei's sky sound wave. The heavenly sound wave of the war god realm was too powerful. The moment that King Yang Luo rushed out, his underworld mansion also collapsed. It shattered and turned into ruins. King Yama was not angry. Instead, he laughed maniacally and said, "Little bastard, you came here to die. Look, is this the person you're looking for?" While they were talking, King Yama pushed Xie out. Long Fei was startled. "Sis." Xie tears directly rolled down her face as she felt incomparable gratitude in her heart. If she could see Long Fei again, even if it meant her death 100 times more, she would still be willing. Xie also shouted, "Long Fei, don't bother with me, run quickly, don't worry about me." Not waiting for her to finish, the King of Hell stepped her down to the ground with one foot, pressing her firmly down. With a crazed smile on his face, he said, "You want to save her? Ha ha ha. I won't let you do as you wish." He exerted force with his feet. Blood gushed out from Xie head. Xie became even more vicious and said, "Kill me, if you have the guts, then kill me right now." Long Fei was extremely anxious in his heart. "King Yama, you bastard." Seeing Long Fei's angry look, King Yama laughed out loud and said, "Beg me, kneel down and beg me. I like it the most when people from Long family kneel down and beg me. Did you see Long Quangtian begging? How nice to kneel, and how loud your kowtows are. You Long family people are even kneeling different from others." Ha ha ha. King Yang Luo laughed maniacally. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, his nails digging into the meat of his palms, causing blood to drip down and his teeth to clench so hard that crackling sounds could be heard. Anger was burning and spewing out. The more furious Long Fei was, the happier King Yama became. "Long Fei, kneel down and beg me." Ha ha ha. Long Quangtian has even knelt before, and you are also kneeling down to beg me, ha ha ha. King Yang Luo laughed maniacally. Long Fei was infuriated. He was about to explode with anger. He roared in his heart, "I'll kneel to your 8 ancestors." At this moment, rumble. A purplish-black ray of light streaked past and heavily bombarded the body of the Yama king. Yama Minamaya's body trembled slightly as his face turned angry. "You dog, you're here too." While they were talking, King Yama grabbed his heavenly spirit's mother's head, lifted her head into the air, and started laughing maniacally. "You little beast, come at me. Let's see if it's you or me who is faster." Ha ha ha. King Yama laughed maniacally once again. He was extremely pleased with himself. A mass of purplish-black fog slowly wrapped the sky spirit. The sky spirit slowly walked out of the black fog. Its eyes were as ferocious as they could get, and as terrifying as they could possibly be. Even Long Fei was secretly shocked. The sky spirit said in a low voice, "King Yama, do you want to die?" He was enraged. He was incomparable rage. The heavenly spirit's mother said loudly, "Linger, don't worry about me. Kill him, use your power to kill him, quickly follow Long Fei out of the underworld." "Mother." The sky spirit let out a shrill shriek. King Yama sneered at Tianling in the same tone, "You little B***starred, do you want your mother to die? Long Fei, do you want your sister to die? One on their hands, one on their feet." King Yama controlled them very well. He didn't even have the strength to commit suicide. Ha ha ha. King Yama laughed out loud. "I suddenly thought of an extremely interesting game. None of you want to see your loved ones die. Kill each other. The one who wins will be able to live. What do you think? It must be very interesting, ha ha ha." As soon as he finished, the heavenly spirit seemed to have no hesitation. Its gaze turned, and the purple-black flames in its hands started rolling as it charged straight at Xiong Longfei. "Heavenly spirit! Heavenly spirit!" Long Fei and his mother shouted at the same time. Bam! Heavenly spirit's fists struck Long Fei's chest like thunder. Long Fei instantly spat out a large mouthful of fresh blood. He did not try to defend at all. With a flick of her body, she flew into the air and said, "Fight." Long Fei wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, "I never attack my own brothers." Boom. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the Sky Spirit's attack fell once more, screaming in pain, "Fight back." Rumble. Long Fei's body sank again. With him at the center, a radius of 1 kilometer turned into a huge crater, just like a meteor colliding. Long Fei continuously spat out blood, clenched his teeth, and said, "Right, brother, I will absolutely not attack." Like a fool. King Yama laughed crazily, "Ha ha ha. The people of Long family are truly powerful, heavenly spirit, since he is not going to make a move, then kill him. As long as you kill him, you will be the victor. I will let your mother go." Ha ha ha. Long Fei, this feels great. Incomparable pride. Never would he have thought that Long Fei would actually not retaliate. King Yang Luo laughed disdainfully in his heart, "People from Long family are idiots." Ah! The heavenly spirit was enraged, and said, "You are not retaliating, are you? Then I'll hit you until you fight back." Descending from the sky. Under the crazy bombardment of fists and punches, Long Fei stood at his original spot without any form of defense, and did not retaliate at all. Bang, bang, bang. Dust flew in all directions from the deep pit. King Yang Luo grinned from ear to ear, and said in a nearly sinister manner, "Did you see that? Do you see that? This is the trash of the Long family, and he was beaten into a pulp. Beat him ruthlessly for me. Long Quangtian, you never dreamed that your Long family would produce such a trash, ha ha ha." Dust flew in all directions, filling the sky and shaking the entire ghost city. The Sky Spirit did not hold back at all. Suddenly, a figure flew out. It flew towards the laughing Yama King. King Yama gave a disdainful sneer and said, "TSK, do you think I'm an idiot? Did you think I would be ambushed by you? Long Fei, you are too naive." Rumble. Yama Minamaya's left hand swept out and slapped down. Bow. Long Fei's figure turned into a wisp of white smoke and disappeared. At this moment, Long Fei's crazed and furious voice sounded out from behind him, "King Yama, I'll fuck your 18 generations of ancestors. Dark Dragon God." Roar. The dragon spirit shadow atop the dragon Salia roared and slashed downwards. When did Long Fei run behind him? It was also at this time. The Sky Spirit with blood dripping from both of its hands leapt out from the dust, and roared at almost the same time as Long Fei, ghost veins burning heaven. Ah! One in front and one behind, pincer attack on both sides. His strength was incomparably strong. Floating life, table of contents, no windows. A++ at this moment. Yama Minamaya simply didn't have any choice, he could only give up on Sky Spirit's mother and Xiaqin. His body slightly moved. His gaze locked onto Long Fei, and shouted solemnly, "I'll kill you first." Chapter 5, 8_841923568803. Long Fei, Holy Spirit. Long Fei, Holy Spirit. King Yama chose to attack Long Fei. Because Long Fei was a little more threatening. Because Long Fei is from the Long family. He hated the people of Long family to the bone. Therefore, he chose to kill Long Fei first. With a palm that covered the sky, he smashed it down towards Long Fei's head. At this moment, the corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back, revealing a cold smile. King Yama's eyes turned cold. "This is bad." Whoosh. In another place, another voice flew out from Long Fei's body. Long Fei, who was still lying on the ground, suddenly jumped out. The Sky Spirit gave up on attacking and caught the falling mother, then abruptly flew out. Boom. After slapping Long Fei down with a palm from the King of Hell, Long Fei's body instantly turned into a wisp of white smoke and disappeared. Clone. Yet another clone. King Yama was completely tricked. Ah! At this time, Long Fei's clone had already brought Xiaqin to a safe place. Whoosh. Long Fei took a step into the air. His entire body was dyed with blood. This was all an attack by the Sky Spirit. But if he did not do this, how could he play with the King of Hell? Little Kid Hades, are you enjoying yourself? Long Fei stood in mid-air. The dragon Salia in his hands released a buzzing sound as it fought back. The dragon Salya was also angry. King Yang Luo was so angry that smoke rose from his head. You dare to play with this king? Long Fei, then go and die. Boom. A thunderous sound echoed out from the body of the Yama king. After which, a beam of golden light shot out from his body as the judge and the brush flew out horizontally. Just like a golden sword, it pierced straight towards Xiong Longfei. The natal implement has appeared. The attack was very terrifying, one that even Long Quangtian could not withstand. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he roared, "This old man will see who dies first." 4th level, Peerless. Open for me, catcher. A loud sound exploded inside Long Fei's body. 16 times his elemental energy was unleashed. Moreover, at this moment, the Heart Sutra was activated. All over his body, the shadows of Kitagawa became even more powerful. Not even that. Long Fei roared out, "Bedevilment." Boom. His body was also half naked, but the aura of the heavenly demon emitted from his body was incomparably strong. The heavenly demon aura fused with the dark blade aura on the dragon Salya. Roar! Dark dragon god let out a sinister cry. Facing the golden sword judge, Long Fei didn't even try to defend himself. Instead, he took a step forward and said, "People from the Long family never retreat." The wrath of the dragon god. Boom! With a huge explosion, all the power in Long Fei's body trembled, and trembled crazily. He could barely control such a powerful force, and the instant he flew out, it hacked down towards the top of Yama King's head. At this moment, the judge's pen stabbed towards Xiong Longfei's back. King Yama became excited. Die. Whoosh. His eyes turned sinister as they landed on Long Fei's back. The thick purple-black flame in his hands blocked it, laughed coldly, and said, "Crazy enough, I like it. Ha ha ha." The Holy Spirit blocked the judge's pen. Long Fei also slashed down. Rumble. The blade aura was like the sky as the dragon spirit shadow in the sky transformed into a gigantic dragon Salya and furiously slashed down. It struck on the head of the Yama king. Poochie. 17,338. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister, his heart filled with shock. The damage is too low. It was also at this moment. The amount of health that the King of Hell had above his head was 90 million HP, so 10,000 points of damage was completely negligible. It's too low. The Yang Huang ancestor said slightly. He has 2 natal implements. One was an attack judge and the other was a defense of the Book of Life and Death. The defense of the Book of Life and Death is too strong. You want to kill me? You're not qualified, ha ha ha. The King of Hell's palm swept across. Long Fei's body moved, he flipped, and dodged a move. Looking at the amount of blood on his head, his eyes turned sinister, and he laughed out loud in excitement. Is it strong? The stronger I am, the more excited I will be. The stronger you are, the better it means. If you weren't strong enough, I wouldn't have bothered to kill you. This was the strongest boss in Long Fei's history. King of Hell. Explode him. I have to blow him up. Long Fei's heart trembled with excitement. Explode him, bring out his Book of Life and Death, the judge pen. This way, I will be in charge of the entire infernal realm, and I will be the King of Hell. 90 million HP, right? I'll do it. Long Fei took a step forward, and landed in front of Yama Minamaya. With a flick of his palm, he said, "Secret skill, poison technique." King Yama sneered, "This poison? Destroy." With a shake of King Yama's power, the poison released by Long Fei was exterminated. And then, his palm struck down. Long Fei did not dodge. Instead, he moved his idea, Soul Evil Fire, burn. Another strand of power appeared on the dragon Salya. Dark 3 Essence Chi. Fire. Whoosh. 3 streams of black flames rushed out of Long Fei's body and instantly merged with the dragon Salya. At the same time, Yang Huang ancestor was shocked and said, "Brat, don't. God's bone taboo. Open up your strength for me." Ignoring the Yang Huang ancestor's obstruction, Long Fei released the power of spirit demon Sovereign Yi Tiancho's God's bone taboo, and at the same time fused with the power of the dragon Salya. Yang Huang ancestor was completely dumbstruck. This was too crazy. Long Fei was completely a madman. The more powerful he met, the crazier he would become. Once the God's Bone taboo was cultivated, there was no turning back. Moreover, it will turn you into a monster. The moment Long Fei released the power of the God's Bone taboo, the taboo in his body began to change as well as his bones. However, the God's Bone taboo that he was currently cultivating in did not even have a layer of energy, so it was not obvious. The dragon Salya was trembling. The dragon spirit shadow was even more lifelike, like a real dragon. It was as if it was filled to the brim. Long Fei was not holding onto a blade, but a dark dragon god. The eyes of the king of hell turned sinister. His body began to tremble uncontrollably. Little bastard. You actually absorbed all of their cultivation techniques, you. The expression on Yama Minamaya's face became somewhat ugly. However, in that instant, the golden light of the Book of Life and Death in the Yama King's body grew even brighter. Even if you fuse with the heavenly energy, it would still be useless. That's because in the underworld, I'm the heavens, and I'm the Imperial Lord. Long Fei laughed sinisterly, and said, "You are the sky, right? Then I'll go against the heavens today and kill the heavens for you to see." Ah! He unleashed all of his power, and a single slash descended. Moreover, the moment the slash landed, Long Fei didn't have the slightest hesitation, and slashed down once again. This day, I'm set on it. 8_8419235685. It was a shocking scene, using all of his strength. It was a shocking scene, using all of his strength. One slash. Next slash. It landed heavily on the head of the Yama King. Greater than sign. Long Fei had fallen into a state of madness after his injuries had exploded. He was now a complete madman, a complete and utter lunatic. Long Quangtian's kneeling made him go crazy. Xie Qin being stepped on, made him go crazy. Right now, he only had one goal in his heart, and that was to overturn the King of Hell. The life and death of the natal implement in Yama Minamaya's body continued to flash with a golden light. The golden light enveloped his entire body, but Long Fei's damage did not decrease by much. King Yang Luo was continuously being forced to retreat. He coughed out blood again and again, almost unable to withstand the power. Long Fei arrogantly roared, "Didn't you ask me to kneel down? Come on. Aren't you arrogant? Continue. Aren't you going to trample on our Long family members? Come on King if you have the guts." The saber slashed down. Dark Dragon God unleashed his strength time and time again. King Yama could only resist in pain, he did not have the strength to counterattack. This was because Long Fei's strength was just too intrepid, and the most crucial point was that the judge pen was tightly tied by the sky spirit. However, this was the underworld. He was the heavens and the chief sovereign. Ah! King Yama roared, growling in a deep voice, "Let me see how many true breath you have, and how long you can hold out for. Yama's 10,000 arts. Drink it." Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Tens of millions of beams of light shot out from his body. These streams of light were all devoured by him. As these imps descended, they absorbed the energy of a ghost before quickly returning to King Yenluo's body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In just a few seconds, over 20 million HP was rapidly restored. It was full of blood. Ha ha ha. All the pain in his body had completely recovered. He stared at Long Fei ferociously and said, "How are you going to fight with me? What are you going to use to fight me? Ha ha ha. The Long family is awesome. Brat, be a bit more powerful, ha ha ha. This is the underworld, and I am the heavens. You will never be able to kill me. Abnormal. Too abnormal." King Yenluo's level may not be high, but the feeling Long Fei got was at most that of level 9 war god, but the natal implement was too strong. Now, with this recovery ability, he was simply an untouchable existence. How? 20 million points of damage recovered as soon as he said it was healed. He was absorbing the energy of other ghosts. How many ghosts were there in the South Horizon region's underworld? There were trillions of them. He could recover countless times. Just as King Yang Luo had said, how long could Long Fei's true breath last? Long Fei frowned. No, This won't do. His attack also came to a halt. He had to think of a way to deal with the King of Hell's recovery ability. If he continued to fight like this, he would only exhaust himself to death. King Yama laughed complacently when he saw Long Fei stop. Ha ha ha. Little bastard, are you feeling good? Continue attacking. Do you want to kneel down and beg for forgiveness? Ha ha ha. King Yang Luo was incomparably proud. No one could shake him here, he was invincible in the underworld. He commanded billions of ghosts, and these ghosts were his source of energy. As long as he was injured, he could absorb the power of these ghosts. Even though he knew in his heart that doing so would violate the rules of the heavens, but he didn't have the time to care about that now. No matter how heavy the crime was, he still wanted Long Fei to die. Long Quangtian had humiliated him once, he would definitely not let the people of the Long family humiliate him a second time, never. Methods. I need a way. Long Fei's mind was working frantically, as the scene of you absorbing the ghost's energy continued to appear in his mind. How? How can I destroy it? Long Fei frowned. Yang Huang ancestor slightly said, aren't you good at one-wave rush? Huh. Long Fei trembled, and said, taking away 90 million blood in one go? This. Even if we can do it, but during this journey, the King of Hell will once again absorb energy to restore his health point. In just a few seconds, he had recovered 20 million health point. It was too fast, so fast that Long Fei could not withstand it. Yang Huang ancestor said, Holy Spirit. Huh? Long Fei asked, can he stop King Yenluo's health point from recovering? No way. But he can absorb those spirits that are brimming with energy. Yang Huang ancestor said, as long as he absorbed those ghost spirits, he would be unable to recover. As long as he could prevent King Yama from recovering his life, Long Fei had absolute confidence in killing him. Immediately, Long Fei bellowed, Heavenly Spirit. The two powers bound the judge's pen and asked, what? Long Fei said, can you absorb those ghost spirits? The man nodded, sure. It wasn't hard. It was just that he was a little confused at Long Fei's words. He did not have the system, and he could not see King Yama instantly recovering his health point, so he naturally did not understand. Long Fei said, later on, do your best to absorb all of those ghost spirits. You don't need to worry about other things. Oh. The two black hole eyes stared straight at Long Fei and asked, what are you planning to do? Long Fei grinned and laughed lightly, saying, do you know about one-wave rush? The man shook his head, I don't understand. Long Fei laughed, then I'll let you know what one-wave rush is today. And then, Long Fei's heart sank, level 4 unparalleled, open. Heart Sutra, open. Dark Chi, open. God's Bone Taboo, open. The moment the four energies were activated, Long Fei's sky demon body trembled. The powerful energy was almost unbearable to his body, and was extremely intense. It was as if enormous waves were crashing against the sky. Long Fei tightened his right hand, Dark Dragon God, release a bit of your power. Roar. Dark Dragon God roared, his body looked as if it were real and lifelike. The dragon's roar resounded as it soared into the air, forming the saber chi of the heavens. Long Fei's gaze locked onto the King of Yama, laughed sinisterly, and said, today, I'll let you know what one-wave rush is. King Yama laughed disdainfully, it's useless. In the underworld, I am the heavens. Who dares to go against me? You. It's simply not qualified. Is that so? Long Fei sneered, and his body began to move. The space around him began to distort, as though it was being crushed by his strength. Then I'll let you know what qualifications are today. Sure. As soon as Long Fei moved, all the power in his body began to burn crazily. Fury filled his mind, and all of the techniques and powers Long Quangtian had released kept on appearing in his mind, trying to figure out and deduce what was going on at that instant. Long Fei's eyes opened, his idea was connected to the Dark Dragon God in the Dragon Salia, and was his sister-in-law. Plus health, strongest upgrade system Dragon Saber Unity, Dark Dragon God. Kill. Ah! Long Fei roared, and then slashed down. Chapter 18_841923568606 Long Quangtian had comprehended the skill of Dragon Blade Unity. Long Quangtian had comprehended the skill of Dragon Blade Unity. The blade descended. When the power was used, the sword chi formed by the Dark Dragon God was as sharp as it could destroy the heavens and earth. Rumble. The golden light emanating from the body of the Yama king started to tremble before turning dim. The life and death scroll was shaking. This power was simply too ferocious. At this moment, a long number immediately floated up above Yama king's head, ! 10 million points of damage. Moreover, this wasn't even a critical hit. *T, big shot. Long Fei felt excited in his heart. After saying one line, Long Fei did not stop at all, even if it was just for 1,000th of a second. Devil snake eyes of destruction, swish. A strand of the power of the petrification demon eye shot out and petrified the body of the enormous King Yama. At this moment, Long Fei roared out, magic chop. Rumble. Another slash landed, and the skill did not stop. Rushing thunder palm. Boundless blood sea. Great blood refining art. The skills continued to be released, and the attacks also continued to superimpose on each other. They did not stop for even half a second, nor did they give the King of Hell any chance to recover his energy. He slaughtered wildly. After releasing the abilities of the Sky Demon physique, Long Fei instantly changed to his usual appearance, draw Dugu Judao, kill. Mountain hit fist, Mount Tai strikes. Raw. Splitting fist. Dragon chop. It was a crazy heavy strike, without any intention of stopping. After Long Fei finished unleashing all of his abilities, his mental energy and the true chi also sank into an extremely exhausted state. The consumption of true chi was like a flood. It was too fast, too numerous, and with the activation of those skills, it was as if his body was drained of energy. However, this was still not enough. It was still not enough to kill the King of Hell. Long Fei continued to persevere. The amount of blood on the head of the King of Hell was rapidly decreasing. It was also at this time. The King of Hell roared and burst out, King of Hell, all spells are for me to absorb. At this moment, Long Fei slightly stopped. Now it all depended on the Sky Spirit. If he couldn't deal with the Yama's 10,000 arts, then he would absolutely not be able to kill the King of Hell. The King of Hell's recovery ability was simply too strong. King Yama was covered in blood and looked extremely miserable, as if he had been trampled by Long Fei. He was extremely angry and also extremely arrogant, as he said proudly, "Have you used up most of his true chi? Ha ha ha. My Hades can help me recover quickly, but what about you? Long Fei, do you still have any strength left? Are there any more true chi-s? Ha ha ha. I've said it before. I'm the heavens in the underworld, I'm everything. You want to defy the heavens? You are not qualified at all, ha ha ha." King Yama was laughing maniacally. In the underworld, tens of millions of ghosts suddenly died and were absorbed by the ghost spirits released by the King of Hell. The entire underworld was instantly thrown into chaos as well. It was chaotic beyond compare. However, King Yama didn't care at all. He stared at Long Fei and laughed sinisterly. Ha ha ha. Just watch as I recover. Drink it. With a twitch of his forehead, the King of Hell madly started absorbing the energy. It was also at this time. The ghost vein art had been cultivated to its peak by the heaven spirit. The dark purple flame covering the sky grinned and said, "I want to see how you'll absorb it." Ghost vein yin sho, explode, whoosh whoosh whoosh. Hundreds of millions of black lights shot out from the purple-black flames. Just like the little imps that King Yama released, the black lights charged out and directly collided with the ghost spirits. Bam! Bang! 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 Those ghost spirits all exploded. All the ghost souls were blocked by the sky spirit. King Yama was instantly enraged. "Tianling, you bastard, you dare to stop my ghost. I will kill you." Ah! Since the ghost spirit could not enter his body, he could not recover. King Yama was only half alive now. He rushed towards the sky spirit like a madman. It was also at this time that Long Fei fell under the spell of the devil once more and roared in his heart, Demonic Heart Sutra, "True Chi. Recover." Swoosh swoosh swoosh. The true chi was completely filled up in an instant, and Long Fei also jumped out to stand in front of the Yama King, asking with a grin, "There's no way to recover, right? Now it's my turn. If one time doesn't work, then do it again." 4th level, Peerless, Heart Sutra, Dark Triuan Chi, God's Bone Taboo, Strength, all of you activate. Can't kill you once? Then let's do it again. Long Fei's idea linked to the Dark Dragon God once again and roared deeply, "Give me a little more power. Dragon Saber Unity, kill." Long Fei released Long Quangtian's skill again, and slashed down. Rumble. It was a damage of almost 20 million points, but this time it was an absolute critical hit. Long Fei withdrew his Dragon Salya and fiercely jumped down, stepping on the head of the King of Hell's head and punching him in the face. "Fuck, go crazy again." Bam! With a single punch, the Yama King's teeth exploded. The second punch landed heavily. "Continue your King crazy. Aren't you God? Aren't you the Chief Sovereign? CKU, you're going to go crazy later." Boom, boom, boom. Kneeling, Xiechin's tears, and the kind of high and mighty Yama King, the despicable and sinister mouth made Long Fei feel extremely displeased. Now, he wanted to vent as much as he could. One punch after another. King Yang Luo was completely stomped on, there was no room for a counterattack. However, this was not what he was most afraid of. What they were most afraid of was the power of the Book of Life and Death and the Judge Pen disappearing crazily. This meant he had reached the end of his life. It was not that Long Fei wanted him dead, but it was another person. The person he was most afraid of in his life. Long Fei also realized this point. Yama Minamaya's defense was instantly reduced to the lowest point. He didn't care too much about it, he just kept firing and punching. As for other things, he did not care. As his HP continued to decrease, Long Fei's attack continued to increase. At this moment, imperceptibly, the golden light from the judge's brush and Book of Life and Death slowly flew into the void, being sucked into the palm of a man in the sky. The man's body flashed with golden light. It wasn't the type of golden light that would appear in a boss, but rather a golden light that shone like a god. He was the person that King Yama feared the most. The idea moved and transmitted the information to Long Fei's mind, saying, "There's someone in the sky, and he is swiftly absorbing the power of the Book of Life and Death and the Judge's Note." What? F***CK. 36O search. Half floating / equals stealing the boss with lousy. The Book of Life and Death, the Judge Pen belongs to this father. Do you want to steal it? Have you asked me? Long Fei cupped his fists and struck out heavily. Explode for me. Chapter 28_841923568807. What was the most annoying thing to do in game? What was the most annoying thing to do in game? If someone came to snatch the boss that he had only a little bit of health left, that person would be too disgusting. Long Fei hated him to the core. But what's wrong with stealing his holy artifact? Before the boss was killed, the holy artifact would be robbed, causing Long Fei to be even more unhappy. Long Fei had originally wanted to abuse her a little more to vent the anger in her heart, but now, he did not care about that, and threw a punch. You want to steal my boss? You're too weak. Die. The Yama King, who only had a few hundred HP left, instantly died. Long Fei also answered in a split second, release your striking attribute. A melodious voice sounded. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yama King for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining King of Hell's blood vein. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining 10,000 arts of the underworld. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Yama Minamaya's 10,000 arts. Do you wish to learn it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Zhuge sword fragment. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Book of Life and Death. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Judgment. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Broken Hell's 18th floor. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yama King for obtaining a special reward, level +2. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The notification sound finished. When the world quieted down, Long Fei danced around as if he was a madman, all by himself. 5 words drifted from the sky: great, 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 great. Long Fei was so happy that he was about to go up to the sky. I'm going to go up to the sky, I'm going to go up to the sky. Ha ha ha. What do you mean berserk? That's berserk. Those berserk attacks from before were so weak that they made people so excited. Long Fei felt that all the cells in his body were exploding, all of them were excited, all of them were boiling. It's gone, it's gone. All of them exploded. King of Hell's blood vein, the dragon Salia is yours. Long Fei moved, opening up the system to check. Without need for Long Fei's instructions, the King of Hell's blood vein had already been absorbed by the dragon Salia. Yama's 10,000 arts. Cultivate. Long Fei did not hesitate, and immediately became excited, to be able to recover tens of millions of health point in an instant. This cultivation technique must be cultivated. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for training Yama Wen for obtaining 100 experience points, 100 true chi, and 100 points as a reward. Skill path: Yama's 10,000 arts grade, God plus consumption. Description: able to absorb all energy and convert it into health point, flowers, plants. Everything could be absorbed, and the energy absorbed each time could be transformed into health point. Description 2: the first level of hell can absorb energy within a 10-meter radius. Description 3: cooldown time, 12 hours. As expected, Long Fei's mind shook. If King Yang Luo can absorb energy and transform it into health point, so can I, and I'm even more tenacious than him. What he absorbs is the energy of ghosts, and what I absorb is everything, whether it's flowers, plants, trees, demons or ghosts, even sand, water, fire, everything can be absorbed and converted into my health point. But I wonder how much of its energy it will absorb to transform into health point. Continue. Long Fei continued to read, Yama Minamaya, practice. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience points for practicing Yama Luo Fist. True Chi 100 points, 100 points. Skill path: Yama's 10,000 arts fist art grade, God plus consumption. Description: Yama Minamaya's boxing technique, 1 hit, 10,000 punches. Long Fei's blood boiled. Once released, 10,000 fists will attack, the rhythm of the skies will be smashed. As he practiced these 2 cultivation techniques, his heart was filled with one thing only: Zhuge sword fragment. As Long Fei read these words, he recalled what the Yang Huang ancestor once said to him. The Zhuge sword had shattered. If he wanted to recreate the Zhuge sword, he had to find those fragments. Now we have one. Long Fei also had a piece of blueprint of the Zhuge sword in his hands. As long as he could find all of the pieces of the Zhuge sword, he could recreate them. Item: Zhuge sword fragment. Grade. Description: one of the Zhuge sword fragments. It was a very simple answer, without much description. Long Fei thought, seems like I need to collect all of the gods' fragments before touching this Zhuge sword's remodeled mission, huh? Then continue. Long Fei rubbed his hands, saliva dripping down. He was extremely excited in his heart. The Book of Life and Death, the Judge's Brush, the exclusive property of the King of Hell. With these things, I can control the life and death of everyone, ha ha ha. With these 2 things, he would be the King of Hell. Looking at your unhappiness. With one tick, the black and white impermanents would take their lives unconditionally. If the King of Hell wanted them dead, he would definitely not leave them alive. However, now it's Long Fei who wants you dead, and will definitely not let you live until 5 o'clock. Other than that, Long Fei knew very well about the power of the Book of Life and Death. Other than taking one's life to determine life and death, it could also increase one's lifespan. It had to be known that the cultivation of the War King S did not dare to reach the maximum lifespan of 200 years. How many people in the South Horizon region were able to reach the War King realm? A warrior's life was not too bad. A normal person's life was not much different from the people on Earth. With this life and death thread, Long Fei could do whatever he wanted. Too excited. It was just that. However, when Long Fei checked the attributes of the two-natal implement, he was immediately stunned. F***CK. Long Fei could not hold back the anger in his heart any longer and blurted out, "System, F***CK your grandpa, what do you mean by unable to use it? The items that I dropped can't be used. Your sister, what kind of plane is this? Sick." At first, Long Fei thought that the time was up, but then he suddenly fell into the bottomless abyss. They were both unusable. The attributes were not displayed at all. Wasn't this a scam? Long Fei looked through it a few times, but it was the same. The system only showed that it was unusable. His idea was untouchable and uncontrollable. In that instant, Long Fei was enraged, and said, "Ancestor, can you devour it? Eat it, damn it." Laozi is furious. He had thought that he would be able to do as he pleased. Hong Tianjun can do whatever he wants to whoever he doesn't like. Could he escape the restrictions of the law of death? Large-scale hooks, kill, Sky Sect, so what if Nantian Sect? Large-scale hooks, kill, strongest upgrade system, however. This was all just a dream. If he couldn't use it, how could he kill it? Yang Huang Ancestor's idea moved slightly and said, "It's useless. These two things have become trash and their powers have been completely absorbed. He's already a piece of trash." Chapter 38_841923568808. Did the Book of Life and Death turn the Judge Pen into trash? Did the Book of Life and Death turn the Judge Pen into trash? To Long Fei, this was like a bolt out of the blue. He couldn't accept it. Yang Huang Ancestor continued, "It doesn't matter if I swallow it or not." What? Long Fei's eyes darkened. He immediately thought about the golden light that the Book of Life and Death and Judge's Brush had just released. His heart shivered and asked, "Are you saying that their power is the golden light?" It was absorbed. Yang Huang Ancestor nodded, and said, "Yes, I." Long Fei was speechless. He couldn't be bothered to look at the last item, the 18th level of the Infernal Realm, because it would be as unusable as the Book of Life and Death. Long Fei raised his eyes, stared at the man who was floating in the air, and said, "You want to fight with me? No one has ever taken away something that belongs to me, Long Fei." Just as Long Fei was about to take a step back, the heavenly spirit spat out a mouthful of blood and said, "I can't take it anymore, how are you?" The sky spirit's face was deathly pale. The baleful yin force on his body weakened rapidly, unable to withstand the golden light descending from the sky. He was very unhappy. However, he had to admit that he couldn't withstand the golden light in the sky. Long Fei's brows tightened and his face filled with shock. Even Yama King was unable to force the heavenly spirit to such an extent. Just what kind of power and cultivation level did the man in the sky possess? Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, as the man's voice faded, kneel, boom. With a loud bang, the celestial spirit's body was smashed down. The entire ground was filled with a powerful shockwave, causing the entire underworld to tremble. The sky spirit was crushed to the ground, bleeding profusely. Breathing heavily, it said in annoyance, "Kill me if you have the ability to do so." "Come at me." The man coldly said, "You think I can't kill you?" The celestial spirit refused to give in and said, Come and kill me." "Humph." The man snorted, his gaze turned and landed on Long Fei, and said, "Hand over the Book of Life and Death, as well as the Judge's Pen." Long Fei was furious when he saw his heavenly spirit being crushed to such a state. He shouted angrily, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" At this moment, he is a divine body, an existence that you are truly unable to shake right now. Your only way now is to escape the underworld, and he will have no way to deal with you. Patriarch, I want to explode him. I want to explode the power from the Book of Life and Death and the Judge's Brush. Do you have a way? Long Fei was completely crazy. The more he saw the immovable boss, the more he wanted to kill him. The Yang Huang Ancestor said, "Not to mention you, even I can't do it. This kind of divine body is unshakable. Hurry up and run. There's no way at all." Power of petrification. plus 100 Dao dragon slashes, is that possible? Long Fei did not give up. Yang Huang ancestor said, run, all right. Although you said so, but. The moment Long Fei finished speaking, all of the power in his body exploded out. He leapt up and roared, how do you know it won't work if you don't try? The dragon Salia moved. The illusory image of the dark dragon god roared out. The saber slashed down. At this moment, the man raised his eyes slightly as a golden light flashed across them. Shua. All of Long Fei's strength and attacks were instantly crushed to nothing. This was not a difference. There was a distance to measure the difference, and this was a distance that couldn't be measured. Therefore, this wasn't a difference. F***CK. Long Fei shouted loudly. Without thinking about anything else, he turned around and landed beside Tian Ling, picked him up and rushed towards the exit of Ghost City. He didn't want to say anything. He didn't want to think about it. He felt like a moth. The man in the sky was not a flame, but the sun. If he continued to fight, it wouldn't just be seeking death, but he would be making life difficult for himself. Divine body. This is too damn tough, isn't it? Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. He thought that he could at least cause a little bit of damage, but if he couldn't even hit her, he would have completely given up. If the King of Hell was one, then this man was most likely a level 10,000 boss. Right now, Long Fei only had one goal, to escape the underworld. Now that he had done what he needed to do, his level had risen, Xie Qin was saved, Yama Minamaya was also killed, and he had even seen the ancestors of the Long family, so he knew some secrets about the Long family. As long as he was able to charge out of the underworld this time, then he would earn a lot. The heavenly spirit said, why did you run? Won't you fight with him? Fight your head. You've already been crushed into a dog, and you still want to fight. Right now, escaping is more important. Long Fei rushed out as the idea connected with another clone. They all rushed towards the Ghost City's exit. It was also at this time. Man with golden light said slightly, you won't be able to escape. Heavenly God Force. Cage. The center of Man with golden light's brows shook, and a burst of golden light burst out, turning the entire Ghost City into an incomparably large cage. Boom. 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 The 4 gates slammed shut, golden light enveloping them. After doing all of this, the man with golden light descended and stuck to the ground as he flew, saying faintly, Long Fei, the laws of the underworld cannot be broken. You broke the rules by barging into the underworld. To disrupt the order of the underworld, to break the 18 levels of hell, to kill Oxhead and Horseface, King Yama of Hell, this has already violated the rules of the heavens. If you continue to save the body of evil and your loved ones, then you will be able to save them. This will further disrupt the balance of the rules and regulations, and in this world, it will cause a huge impact to the ghost realm. You can't bear the consequences. Now you're in a rush to go back. Every place is bound by the laws of every place. This type of law was protected by the strongest power, no one could break it. If you die, you'll be able to recover. This will break the law of death. If everyone was like this, the world would be thrown into chaos. Once there is chaos, there will be a chain reaction, just like the butterfly effect. A small ripple can cause huge waves. Thus, that was why the man with golden light appeared. As Long Fei fled, he continued, the laws are used to break, I don't care about others, but I'm not restricted by any laws, I'm me. If you insist on using some laws to bind me, then I will shatter it. The center of Man with golden light's brows tightened as he asked somewhat unhappily, do you really want to be stubborn? Of course. Long Fei also replied very unhappily, if a person can die, then a ghost can die. Why can't a ghost revive? In the ghost manner, King Yama was shameless and despicable. He committed all sorts of crimes, so why don't you punish him for his crimes? Now that I have broken through the 18th level of hell and overturned the King of Hell, you are saying that I have broken the rules? Humph. If that's the case, then I will break this rule. Long Fei replied disdainfully. Caret, half, /, float *, life. It was also at this moment. As he landed at the city gate, facing the faint glimmer of golden light above the city gate, Long Fei gritted his teeth and roared, I want to see just how strong the laws are. As soon as he finished, Long Fei's fists moved, heavily punching forward. Chapter 48_841923568009. Boom. Boom. Bang. With a loud sound, Long Fei was directly ejected out. Fart. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes turned sinister, and once again rushed forward. Man with golden light slightly said, "It's useless. A mortal fist like yours broke through this shackle, and now I order you to hand over the book of life and death, as well as the judge's pen. Then come with me to be punished. I will punish your ancestors." Long Fei roared, and the dragon Salia slashed down. Rumble. Long Fei's palm split open, blood flowing out like a fountain. He then spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out. Unhappy. Again. Long Fei rushed forward again. The heavenly spirit looked at Long Fei in pain, raised its head and looked at man with golden light, saying, "I'll go back with you to receive my punishment. He is a human, he should return to the world he resides in." Xie Qin immediately knelt on the ground and said, "I won't follow him. I beg you, please let him go." The golden ripples of light produced by the sound of the city walls were too powerful. Just by standing there, the sky spirit could feel that the power was unshakable. No one could break it. Long Fei said, "Tianling, I promised your mother that I would take you out. I, Long Fei, will definitely do what I said. Sis, I promised to save you, and I will do it." Long Fei glanced at the man with golden light and said, "What rule? Why can't I return the favor? All these were set by you, why? What qualifications do you have to decide the life and death of people? What qualifications do you have to decide whether ghosts can return the young or not? Just because you're strong?" The man with golden light laughed. "That's right, it's because we are strong that we are able to draw up all the laws. If you are weak, you must stay within these laws." His voice was filled with contempt. Long Fei sneered, "You're strong, aren't you? If Long Fei is unable to break your cage today, then I, Long Fei, will be surnamed Long Fei." Long Fei's entire being entered into a berserk state. He just didn't like the way things were planned from such a high vantage point. Why? In his previous life, he didn't like it, so there was no way for him to change it. In this life, he had to control his own destiny. He had to do whatever he wanted. No matter who it was, regardless of God or law, they could never restrain him. The laws are strong. Then break the law with your fist. Rumble. Long Fei's fists were flung out. Again, he was sent flying again. The truth was that after an hour of repeating himself, Long Fei was still not convinced. Man with golden light's face was filled with contempt as he said, "You overestimate yourself. You think you, a mere mortal, can break the law. You are not qualified." At this moment, the heavenly spirit also walked up, and said while looking at Long Fei, "From today onwards, you will be my boss. You will be crazy, and I will accompany you crazy." He was completely convinced by Long Fei. From the moment he had met Long Fei until now, he was now convinced. He must admire someone. The energy in Long Fei's body made him convinced. He had originally wanted to borrow Long Fei's hand to escape the underworld and do what he wanted. In fact, Long Fei had even planted a seal in his body. At that time he had even wanted to kill him. Had always been using Long Fei, but she treated him like her own brother. Now he was convinced. It was also at this time. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the Yuling Guardian Warrior mission. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining task reward, 1 million experience, 80,000 true chi, 10,000 points. The fourth King Kong had returned. Yuling Guardian Warrior, body of evil, power of the dosed, non-human, non-demon, non-ghost, non-demon. Long Fei laughed excitedly, "Ha ha ha." The moment the heavenly spirit was enraged, he released the power of the dose to its highest point. "Break for me." It was also at this time. Xie Qin also walked over, and looking at the blooded Long Fei, he chuckled, and said, "Silly brother, you are really stupid. What right do I have to make you do this?" While they were talking, she also threw both fists at it, whether it would work or not. Long Fei said, "Sis, you died for me, I must save you." The mother of the sky spirit also walked up and said, "Silly child, you must leave this place alive. You are the savior of all the ghosts in the underworld. You must leave this place alive." He also threw a punch. At this moment, another woman rushed forward and said, "You are our savior, you must get out alive." Next, dozens of people walked forward. Hundreds of people walked forward. Tens of thousands of ghosts walked forward, and all of the hundreds of millions of ghosts in Ghost City walked forward, and shouted, "You are our benefactor, you must leave this place alive." The brutality of King Yama. They had no power to resist. In an instant, they were dead and injured millions of times. They were ghosts, but ghosts didn't have any authority over them. Long Fei saved them. If Long Fei had not killed the King of Hell, they might have been sucked into the King of Hell's energy and died one day. Power of law, right? We'll break through him together. We are the weak. But we also have dignity. Everyone use your strength together to break through this law for our benefactor. Pull. The entire underworld was helping Long Fei. Long Fei was dumbstruck. He could not believe that hundreds of millions of ghosts were helping him. But at this time, Man with Golden Light's face was extremely ugly, as though he had been ruthlessly slapped in the face. Xiao Bai rushed out, ice and fire rushing out. Even the Yang Huang ancestor released all of his power. Long Fei leaped high into the air, both fists exploding like a warhammer, and said, "We'll let you know what qualifications are, what qualifications are. Rumble. Rumble. Rumble." The golden light trembled, and cracks began to appear. The billions of ghosts became even more frenzied and powerful. Long Fei was sent flying. He once again rushed forward and roared, "Break for me." Rumble. Crack. The light began to split apart, and the cracks continued to crack. Again, Long Fei roared. All the ghosts. Man with Golden Light's expression became even uglier. His body was also unceasingly releasing the power of Golden Light. He was not facing Long Fei. It was the power of the entire underworld. It was hard to imagine. A living person was enough to make all the ghosts in the underworld willing to help. It was also because of this power that broke through his strength. One more punch. Long Fei shouted loudly, and once again struck out with his fist. Rumble. Clang. As the golden halo faded away, the city gate was broken open. The numerous ghosts cheered in excitement. This was the first time in their history that they had ever resisted, the first time they had ever resisted against the laws. They had won. Sister-in-law, 1-++ health, strongest upgrade system. Long Fei was extremely grateful in his heart as he replied, "Ice and fire. Heavenly spirit, Xiao Bai, sis, charge out together." Man with Golden Light was also enraged. "Don't even think of escaping." Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. The sea is extremely grateful. Thank you Big Yo-Yo for your great firepower. Thank you brothers for your support. Thank you. 8_841923568810. The city gate was smashed open, and Long Fei and his men escaped. The city gate was smashed open, and Long Fei and his men escaped. Man with Golden Light was infuriated and furious. He absolutely could not let Long Fei break the rules. He absolutely could not allow Long Fei to be so bold. Otherwise, it was not like he could not afford the consequences, even in the entire Sky Marshal continent. But Long Fei did not care about all that. He didn't care about any laws or rules. If someone dared to obstruct his path, then he would have to step all over them, even the heavens themselves. Stop him. Stop him for Master Long Fei, we must let him out alive. Block it. Suddenly, seeing that the man with golden light was about to charge towards Xiong Long Fei, many people out of the billions of ghosts flew out and firmly hugged onto the man with golden light's legs, fiercely saying, "Don't even think of stopping him." In a short moment, his body was then firmly surrounded. He hugged and bit down on it. There were also a few girls who were bare-chested. "You molested me, you molested me. You aren't some heavenly deity of laws, so what can it matter that you molested me?" They were all helping Long Fei. Long Fei was inexplicably touched, and loudly said, "Thank you." Hurry up. Ha ha ha. Master Long Fei, the one to thank you is us. It is you who allowed us the chance to live on. We still have a chance at survival. Master Long Fei, have a safe trip. Everyone cheered. Long Fei had the urge to cry. He never thought that there would be so many people helping him. Ice and fire, raise it again. Yes, sir. Long Fei was very clear about the current situation. He had to leave this place as soon as possible. The power of the man with golden light was simply too strong. His cultivation had already surpassed the War King, and was even stronger. Just as the Yang Huang ancestor had said, he was an unshakable existence with a divine body. We have to get out of here as soon as possible. After leaving the city, quickly charge towards the Nether Sea. At this moment, the golden light dispersed and a golden light shot into the sky. A deep voice rang, Long Fei, you won't be able to escape. You won't be able to break the rules. You can't afford the consequences. His voice was filled with anger. It's here, it's here. He's here. The sky spirit frowned and said a few words anxiously. It was also at this time. Long Fei landed at the side of the Nether Sea, making it impossible for ice and fire to fly across. According to their agreement, Long Fei shouted, 9 secret underworld finches. Boom. A loud sound echoed out. Man with golden light landed heavily. He stared at Long Fei and said, follow me. You're still alive. Long Fei broke the rule. Bringing the dead along with the young, this kind of person who broke the rules definitely could not leave. They were definitely going to receive sky law. Xie Qin looked at Long Fei and said, I. Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Fei grabbed her and said, Sis, I've lost you once, and I definitely won't lose you a second time. The sky spirit looked at him. Long Fei shouted, you too, I promised to bring you out of here, you have to do it. And then, Long Fei stared at the man with golden light and said, I don't need you to show me any mercy. King Yama said that he is the heavens and I am going to go against it. I want to crush it too. Today, if you let me leave, I will owe you a favor. If you don't let me leave, then I will leave too. Long Fei said arrogantly. So what if he was an Empyrean god? So what if it's the power of law? Man with golden light's eyes turned sinister as he said, Long Fei, don't force me. Don't think that just because you're a member of Long family you can do whatever you want. That sounds. Long Fei's heart trembled, and thought to himself, could it be that the Long family is strong to the point where even the gods are afraid of him? The ancestors that Long Quangtian talked about? Immediately, Long Fei said, it's not that I'm forcing you, but you're forcing me. What I, Long Fei, want to do must be done. All right. Man with golden light's body sank, and said, then let's see if you can escape. At this moment, the heavenly spirit's mother said to Long Fei in a low voice, give me the book of life and death and the judge's pen. Huh. Long Fei was a little confused. Seeing the serious expression on her face, Long Fei followed her instructions. Anyway, the book of life and death and the judge pen were trash to him. Even the Yang Huang ancestor couldn't be bothered to eat them. Long Fei was very unhappy about this. Taking the book of life and death and the judge's pen, she looked at Tianling and said, Linger, from now on, you have to listen to your big brother carefully. Don't ever go and take revenge. No matter what, don't ever do it. Then, she said to Long Fei, take good care of Linger for me. No matter what, don't let him go take revenge. Absolutely not. Because that family cannot afford to offend them. Long Fei, you must remember my words. You definitely mustn't let Linger go take her revenge. Long Fei was a little confused, and said, Aunt, I will bring you along to leave. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the sky spirit's mother, the idea, moved. With the book of life and death in one hand and the judge's brush in the other, both things released a golden light, as if the natal implement was operating again. The heavenly spirit's mother looked at Long Fei and the others and said, let's go. In that instant, when the man with golden light's attack landed, it was immediately blocked by her. Rumble. 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 The golden light shone wantonly, and the earth trembled violently. The celestial spirit's mother coughed out a mouthful of blood as she injected the power within her body once again. She shouted, "Let's go, whoosh whoosh whoosh." The 9 secret underworld finches flew down. The heavenly spirit screamed, "Mother." The beautiful woman revealed a happy smile, and said, "Tianling, your mother's body has already rotted, even if you leave it would not be able to live. Listen well to big brother Long Fei, don't go take revenge." Finished. She looked at Long Fei and said, "Go, go, quickly go." Ah! Her voice was low as the book of life and death, and the judge's pen burst forth with an even more brutal force. Boom, boom, boom. Her own life was burning. He couldn't stop it. If he didn't leave, he would never be able to leave. Long Fei did not care that much as he picked up the heavenly spirit and said, "Let's go." The sky spirit struggled continuously, watching as his mother was struck repeatedly. His heart felt as if it was about to be torn apart. "Put me down, quickly put me down." Long Fei said, "Do you want revenge? Do you want your mother to die for nothing? Everything she did was for you. She won't let you take revenge, and she won't let me stop you from taking revenge, but from now on, your revenge will be mine and your mother will be mine." Long Fei carried Xie and Tianling as he flew onto the back of the 9 secret underworld finches. The idea moved. The 9 secret underworld finches began to move. It was also at this time. Long Fei knelt down hard and kowtowed to the mother of the heavenly spirit. This was his first time kneeling down. Tianling's mother smiled and said, "Linger, you must survive. You must." Her figure slowly disappeared. It was also at this time. Man with golden light looked at the 9 secret underworld finches that was getting further and further away. It was already impossible to chase after it. He let out a long sigh. The world is going to fall into chaos. Chapter 1, Table of Contents, 8_841923568811. The world of the living was governed by the laws of the world of the living. The world of the living was governed by the laws of the world of the living. The world of the dead was the same. A dead person was a dead person, and there was only one way for him to recover his yang energy. He would be reincarnated and turn back into a human. However, Long Fei broke through the rules of the living and entered the world of the dead. At the same time, he had brought the dead back to the world of the living, and that was breaking the law. It seemed as if nothing had happened, but the world of the dead and the laws of the world of the living had all formed a strong impact. Imperceptibly, the power of laws had become unbalanced. Sky Martial Continent, Abyss of Sin. Rumble. A gigantic and ancient seal that spanned millions of years began to crumble. An evil aura slowly floated out of the crevice. Finally. Bang. With a loud noise, the entire seal burst apart. Whoosh. A figure escaped from the seal. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. It's been 1,390,000 years. I finally escaped, ha ha ha. I finally made it out, ha ha ha. Just you wait. I want to turn the world upside down. In another place. Dark Domain, Tianxie Lake. A huge whirlpool appeared in the middle of the lake, and a gigantic seal array at the bottom of the lake also broke apart, as a silver man slowly rose up from the middle of the lake. Ha ha ha. His wild laughter was like the wailing of ghosts. Breaking the law, it's a matter of life and death. Finally, someone has broken this damned law energy. Ha ha ha. Tianxie was able to see the light of day once again. Ha ha ha. Damned immortal domain. Damned dragon territory. 2 million years have passed. Are you alright? I'm back, I'm going to kill you all, ha ha ha. Not just these two. At least 100 million years worth of seal were destroyed in the entire Sky Martial Continent, and those millions of years worth of monsters reappeared in the human world. This was all because the balance of the power of law had been destroyed. Immortal Domain. The Heavenly Hall of Immortals. 19 elders frowned anxiously as they paced back and forth in the hall. What should we do? What should we do? Those giant demons have all reappeared in the human world. This is a calamity for humanity. Supreme God still hasn't come out? This matter, I'm afraid. They were all powerful experts at the peak of Immortal Domain, and in the Sky Martial Continent, their strength was almost as high as the heavens. However, Even such an expert like this was making them anxious, their eyes filled with fear. They were also afraid. Catcher. A stone door above Hall of Immortals opened and a white Grandmaster walked out. Greetings, Supreme God. The 19 elders kneeled on the ground together. Supreme God dragged his hands together, and all 19 people were dragged up, and said, "The giant demon that was reborn into the human world 1 million years ago by the seal, I have already calculated this calamity. But I didn't expect it to come so fast, 10 years earlier than I expected." He had anticipated this tribulation long ago, but he had never imagined that so many years would pass so quickly. Many of the elders also frowned. An elder asked, "Supreme God, those giant demons will definitely attack our immortal domain, how should we deal with them?" "That's right. Those giant demons are all giants from 1 million years ago, most of them were created by the immortal domains. Now that they have reappeared in the human world, they will definitely kill us, at that time, I'm afraid." That's right. What should we do?" Now, it was not 1 million years old, all the strong warriors in immortal domain had their lives exhausted and had basically all died. Even if they did not die, they had left the Sky Martial continent. It was impossible to find them again. Supreme God said in a faint voice, "This calamity is because the power of the ancient code was broken and caused a series of reactions. The heavens have the virtue of being born into the heavens. Everything in the world has its limits. If the giant demon appears, then the demon slayer will also appear." An elder asked, "Supreme God, you mean someone can stop this calamity?" Supreme God nodded, and said, "Yes." "Then who is he?" "Yeah, we'll get him right away." To be able to resolve the crisis in the immortal domain and in the Tianwu continent, this person must be a major power. Everyone felt relieved. Since there was someone who could stop him, there was no need for him to worry. Supreme God laughed bitterly. "My cultivation can only deduce that there is a demon slayer here, but whether it is a person, or a group of people, whether he is human, demon, or demon, I cannot deduce. Moreover, the heavenly diagram shows that there are too many variables within the demon slayer that even the heavens cannot control. The Tianwu continent was a calamity, luckily it was prosperous, but right now I can't be sure." The huge boulder that had originally been placed down was once again suspended in the air. The expressions of all the elders tensed up. "Supreme God, then what can we do? We have to do something, don't we? What happens is man-made. Even if the heavens decide, as long as it is within one's capabilities, it should be able to change a little, right?" They were all training in the heavenly Tao. Being awed by the Tao of the heavens, he was also meditating on it. Supreme God became silent. He didn't know how to respond. The prompt on the heavenly axis was too vague. Who exactly is the demon slayer? Where is it? After a long time. Next year, God Emperor Academy will make a large-scale disciple selection. Regardless of whether he is human, demon, or demon, as long as he wants to enter God Emperor Academy, he can participate in the assessment. Supreme God, can even demons do it? This is against the school's rules. That's right, the students of the God Emperor Academy are all devoted to immortality. Can the devils cultivate it? Furthermore, if the demons were to enter the God Emperor Academy, the consequences would be. It's not easy for us to manage it either. This decision broke the historical routine, and they were somewhat unable to accept it. The Supreme God said slightly, "We have to do something extraordinary under extreme circumstances. Since we do not know who the demon slayer is and who can stop this calamity, we can only follow the will of the heavens and let the heavens decide. Be it humans, demons, or demons, they are all members of the Tianwu continent. They all have the right and the responsibility to protect this continent. As long as we guide them with good intentions, I believe that they will definitely be able to get along peacefully. One of them is the demon slayer we're looking for." It was the only way he could think of. Whether it was useful or not, he still had to give it a try. This was the only thing they could do right now. As for the consequences, then let the heavens decide. Once all demons appeared, the world would be thrown into chaos. Just because Long Fei had destroyed the balance of the ancient code. Long Fei was completely unaware of this. If he knew this would happen, He would still do it, he would still do it. He would even laugh foolishly. Wow. Floating life, table of contents, no windows? A++ because the Tianwu continent had many more level boss that they could kill. This was what was so great about them. Add brilliance to this world. Ha ha ha. A strong light shot out. Long Fei became excited. Welcome back to the human world. Chapter 28_841923568812. Shua. The 9 secret underworld finches descended. Long Fei left Sea Demon City and came here from the underworld. After Long Fei and the Sky Spirit landed on the ground, the 9 secret underworld finches cried out a few times. Long Fei frowned. What? Next. The 9 secret underworld finches' body started to slowly turn into streaks of fluorescent light, and gradually disappeared. What's the situation with the royal elder? What happened to the 9 secret underworld finches? Long Fei was extremely anxious in his heart. He still had a lot of feelings for this 9 secret underworld finches, and even though it was not his own war pet, he treated it as his brother. If not for him, Long Fei would not have been able to enter the underworld. It was impossible to obtain so many things, to upgrade so many levels, and to still save Xie and obtain the Yuling Guardian Warrior. The Yang Huang ancestor said slightly, "It can only enter the underworld once in its life, and once after entering, it will die. I didn't tell you before because I was afraid that you would feel burdened." He knew it all along. Moreover, as the master of the Dark Crow King, he was naturally well aware of this. Long Fei's heart sank. Looking at the last bit of silhouette of the 9 secret underworld finches, he said solemnly, "Thank you." At this moment, buzz. The glow on the 9 secret underworld finches' body completely disappeared, and from within the glow fell a sparkling and translucent amber-like object, which landed in Long Fei's hand. Yang Huang ancestor's mind shook. Phoenix tears. Huh? Long Fei was shocked. What is a phoenix tears? Yang Huang ancestor said excitedly, "Unexpectedly, I really didn't think that the 9 secret underworld finches actually broke through another realm in the underworld's time. I didn't expect her to be moved by you." Ha ha ha. Yang Huang ancestor laughed loudly. There was a trace of helplessness within his laughter. He was once the master of the Dark Crow King, but he did not obtain the Phoenix Tears. Dark Crow King will choose Long Fei. In other words, the 9 secret underworld finches recognized her new master, Long Fei. The so-called Phoenix Tears is a type of energy that contains the power of the phoenix. This is also the direction in which the 9 secret underworld finches will evolve, the phoenix. Because of the relationship she had after entering the underworld, she can't evolve anymore, but she will condense all of her power into this drop of Phoenix Tears and wait for the chance to reincarnate. Long Fei was shocked. Rebirth? The Yang Huang ancestor said, he has already experienced Nirvana rebirth and is currently waiting for the day of rebirth. This Phoenix Tears can only be reborn by women. Why would it choose you? The forefather didn't understand this either. In that instant, Long Fei immediately thought of a girl, Jojo. He immediately became excited and thought to himself, it's about time to return to the Long family. Jojo's playful and shy appearance kept on lingering in his mind. Every time he thought of Long Fei, he would laugh in his heart. Jojo was the only person who treated him well when he came to this world. Heh. Little girl, I missed you. Long Fei smiled slightly in his heart. At this moment, a few of the Devil Sect disciples suddenly surrounded Long Fei and the Heavenly Spirit. Who is it? He dares to wander around the Scarlet Demon City? He obviously isn't a good person. Capture him first, then hand him to Lord Crimson Soul. Long Fei frowned. His expression recovered and he muttered, Lord Red Soul? Isn't this Sea Demon City? How did it become Red Soul City? Last time, he clearly killed that Scarlet Soul old man. Why is there another one? The Sky Spirit leaned to the side, expressionless. His heart was still incomparably sorrowful. Looking at where his mother was going to die, it was as if his heart was being torn apart. He coldly said, You'd better open up a little death for me. Heh. Brat, Your tone is quite arrogant. You dare to act so arrogantly in front of me? I think you're not waiting for him to finish. Shua. A streak of purple-black flames streaked across. The 6 surrounding demon disciples immediately turned into black charcoal, then burst apart, transforming into a pile of ashes. You're courting death. Long Fei wanted him to leave a live one for her, but before she could say anything, it was all gone. Long Fei sighed, and said, Your movements are too fast. The celestial spirit looked at him and said, They deserve to die. He still resented Long Fei a little in his heart, but he knew that if Long Fei didn't bring him along, his mother would still die, and he would also die somewhere else. He was incomparably moved by Long Fei's kneeling on the 9 secret underworld finches. Even if he couldn't get through, he couldn't say for sure. It might take some time to cure him. Long Fei replied, I'm making a trip to see Demon City. Perfect. The steel mixtures need to increase the amount of refining. There is only a year left until the agreed time. Hong Tianjun, I'm here. Long Fei's heart sank. Long Fei did not know that the underworld's time was different from the real world. And then he turned into a ball of light and flew in to see Demon City. At this moment, the sky spirit also followed him. Boom. Boom. 2 rays of light fell on the square of the Demon Imperial Palace. This place was completely different from when Long Fei had left. Crimson Soul Demonic Chi. What's going on? Long Fei's heart tightened. At this time, the guards surrounding the square rushed up. Who dares to behave so atrociously in the Scarlet Soul Imperial Palace? Long Fei was about to speak. However, in the next second, these guards were reduced to ashes, as if they had been burnt into charcoal. Long Fei said, Can you let me ask you something? The man leaned against the wall and said nothing. At this moment, a deep voice resounded from the palace. Who dares to be so impudent here? Are you tired of living? Boom. The ball of light exploded within the palace and landed on the plaza. The Scarlet Soul Demon. Venerable Red Soul. He had reoccupied the Sea Devil Emperor and turned it into the current Scarlet Soul Demon City. Venerable Red Soul's eyes were filled with killing intent as he shouted, You 2 trash dared to barge into my Scarlet Demon City. Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei interrupted him and said, Don't be cocky, let me ask you, isn't this Sea Demon City? How did it become Red Soul Demon City? Venerable Red Soul coldly snorted, You dare to speak to me in such a tone, I think you're courting death. Long Fei was also enraged, his body moved, and his right leg descended. Boom. He stepped on Venerable Red Soul under his feet and asked sinisterly, I ask you again, why did Sea Demon City become Crimson Soul Demon City? What cultivation level was Venerable Red Soul at? The War Emperor, a pitilessly strong existence, was much more powerful than the Scarlet Soul Old Man back then. However, being stomped over in an instant, and even being stomped on by Long Fei without being able to release even a trace of resistance, was absolutely stomping. Baidu sister-in-law A.A. Floating Life Strongest Upgrade System. What was absolute suppression? This was it. What did the peak of War Emperor level 9 count for? Long Fei's current cultivation was level 9 War God. Long Fei's eyes became angry, and he shouted, Speak, what happened? Chapter 38_841923568813. Long Fei had a bad premonition. Long Fei had a bad premonition. Venerable Red Soul was no longer arrogant. His face was pale and his lips started trembling. In the past, we were called Demon Sea City. Our Red Soul race sent me here and then we became Demon Scarlet City. When did this happen? Long Fei was furious. Venerable Red Soul immediately said, half a year ago. Bullshit. Half a year ago, I was still here. Where did this guy come from? Long Fei's voice became even colder. Venerable Red Soul cried, I really didn't lie to you. I really didn't lie to you. It's been almost 2 years since this place was abandoned, and we only dared to come when the 8 great demon sects were destroyed and the South Horizon region was in chaos. We definitely didn't lie to you. Long Fei asked, the 8 great demon sects have been annihilated. Venerable Red Soul immediately spoke out. The 8 great demon sects were annihilated by a fellow called Long Fei. He also disappeared for over a year, and the only thing left in the 8 great demon sects that was not under the control of the sect was the evil Sound Peak. The rest of the places were under the control of the sect. With the big sects like Nantian's sect under their control, everything I say is true. More than a year. I disappeared for over a year. Long Fei's heart trembled. He only stayed in the underworld for more than 10 days. How did he disappear for more than a year? I disappeared for more than a year. The 8 great demon sects only have one evil Sound Peak. What happened? Yang Huang ancestor said, dead people have their own time system. Living people have their own time system. That is to say, one day in the underworld, a month in the real world. Long Fei became more and more worried. At this moment, Long Fei's eyes opened wide, his heart suddenly filled with worry, and he asked, have you guys seen the day of wedding ceremony? Venerable Red Soul said, not yet. There's only half a month until it's time. That day is also the day of all the sects competitions in the South Horizon region. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. If I'm half a day late. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, and became a little afraid. Half a month, and time comes in a rush. And then? Long Fei asked, what is the situation with the evil Sound Peak? Venerable Red Soul continued, the evil Sound Peak has always been standing guard, but as far as I know, in order to obtain the evil Sound sect's wedding as a gift, many experts have already rushed to the evil Sound sect. Those 2 people probably won't be able to hold on. Huff. Long Fei let out a breath, turned and shouted, collect all the strong demonic spirit grass from the Scarlet Soul Demon City within 1 day. Remember, you only have 1 chance. These spirit grass must be collected. If he wanted to refine a large amount of steel mixture, he would not be able to use them, but Li Yuanba and the others could definitely use them. Venerable Red Soul crawled up from the ground, not daring to disobey. Because the power that exploded out from Long Fei's body was simply too terrifying. Venerable Red Soul quickly sent people to collect the spirit grass. Long Fei was waiting at the Imperial Palace Plaza, frowning slightly between his brows. I didn't think that so many things would happen after I left for so long. He had always thought that it would only take a dozen days. But the Heaven Sect's strength has already surpassed Nantian Sect's, and has become the #1 sect in the entire South Horizon region. Long Fei said slightly, compared to 3 years ago, the speed at which the power of the rushing Sky Sect increased was too fast. If he wanted to trample Hong Tianjun to death, he had to be well prepared. This time, Long Fei absolutely could not lose again. A day passed quickly. Long Fei summoned his god's devil ancient case and swallowed all of those fierce magic herbs into the myriad demon's blood pool for modification. And then, Long Fei glanced at the Scarlet Soul Sovereign, then said slightly, this matter has been handled well. Thank you, my lord, for your praise. Venerable Red Soul was incomparably humble, and didn't even dare to straighten his body. Long Fei said faintly, you should be glad for your hard work. Otherwise, he did not continue. At this time, Long Fei faintly said, Heavenly Spirit, let's go. Venerable Red Soul took a step forward, gathered up his courage, and asked, Lord, I still don't know your name. Can you tell me your name? He wanted to know. When did the South Horizon region produce such a powerhouse? And he didn't look more than 20. Long Fei summoned his fire and ice and said faintly, Long Fei. Then, with a flap of its wings, the fire and ice wings disappeared into the clouds in the blink of an eye. Long Fei. This name. Venerable Red Soul's eyes shook. Didn't he disappear? Is he the one who exterminated the 8 great demon sects? It's the god's devil's successor. The person who crushed the old man? It's only been a year, and yet his cultivation base. Beyond the War Emperor realm, oh my god. Venerable Red Soul's body shook and he fell to the ground. In almost an instant, he made a decision. All of the Scarlet Soul clans leave the South Horizon region. They will never step foot into the South Horizon region again. At the entrance of the 10,000 yin Forbidden Land, Xie Yun rushed out of the Forbidden Grounds, and said, Brothers, are you going to let us resist together? Our cultivation is already not weak. During this year, the remaining hundreds of female disciples weren't threatened at all. They had been wholeheartedly cultivating, and in the 10,000 yin forbidden land, their cultivations were even faster. Right now, Xie Yun's cultivation had already reached War Emperor level 6. 1/3 of the other female disciples had already stepped into the War Emperor realm, and the rest were all in the high level of the War Master. I have to thank Li Yuanba and Ahut for this whole year of time. If it wasn't for the two of them protecting me unwaveringly, I'm afraid they would have already left this world. Li Yuanba's entire body was covered with scars. He laughed. Sister Xie Yun, you guys can cultivate in peace. We will definitely not let these beasts take a step into the 10,000 yin forbidden grounds, and even more so, will not let them hurt you. The boss is gone. It is up to us to protect you. Ahut also said lightly. Long Fei was not here, so they had been defending this place the entire time. Moreover, how many miles had Long Fei disappeared during the first year? Everyone believed that Long Fei had died, but they had always firmly believed that he would definitely return and live. Ha ha ha. Can you protect it? This is the last bit of the evil sound peak. As long as we break through this place, I want to see how you will protect the evil sound sect. I heard that the female disciples of the evil sound sect are all extremely spirited, able to make people want to die. I will definitely try it later, ha ha ha. Brothers, this is the only valley in evil sound sect. If we capture it, we will have our young master's wedding in 13 days. This is the best present we can give to the young master. Equals semi-floating life plus, kill, in the distance. Jiyu Hun said slightly, should we make a move? Wild Ghost was about to attack when he heard a cold voice from between his eyebrows. Someone is coming. Chapter 48_841923568814. Over the past year, the Celestial Sect rose to prominence. Over the past year, the Celestial Sect rose to prominence. At the same time, it was also crazily nibbling away at all the sects and clans of the South Horizon region. If you do not comply, the entire sect will be exterminated. 2 Zong. The massacre of the 8 great demon sects by Long Fei had made the Heaven sect even more fearless, and they frantically took over the locations of those sects. With the 8 demon sect 4 devils occupied by the Heaven sect, the evil sound sect was determined to win. In order to seize the evil sound sect before Hong Tianjuan's wedding, there were even more mysterious experts who came this time. In this year and more, Li Yuanba and Ahut had gone through hundreds of battles, and their bodies were also covered with scars. However, the two of them had never regretted it. Because, from the day they followed Long Fei, they knew that the road they were walking on was definitely not ordinary. Li Yuanba still carried the Xian Shun sarcophagus on his back as he turned to look at Xie Yun and said, Sister Xie Yun, you go in first. Xie Yun looked at Li Yuanba as her heart was filled with doubts. What kind of people are they in the end? What exactly did Sect Master Long Fei teach them? Such a man. It's rare, but in the past, our evil sound sect never trusted men, but now, we have been saved by them time and time again. Xie Yun looked at the firm expression in their eyes and then at the densely packed crowd of people charging out of the valley. Her heart secretly tightened as she shouted in her heart, Sect Master, where are you? Come back quickly. Li Yuanba grinned and laughed excitedly. All 3, the final battle, is there anything you want to say? The King Kong exorcism wand in Ahut's hands shook, and the blood demon inscription on top of his head flashed with a bloody light. He laughed madly and said, F***ck him to death. Ha ha ha. That's exactly what I want. Li Yuanba clenched the lightning in his hands tightly, his gaze stared straight at the experts who came crushing down from the sky, his gaze tensed up, and he shouted, F***ck him to death. Kill. Boom. Li Yuanba's body charged forward, transforming into a straight line as the angry thunder hammer in his hand rumbled down. Boom. With his brain ruptured, he was killed in an instant. The Ahut King Kong lowered its wand for a while, then started chanting. Holy Buddha's power from the depths of its body started to circulate, and the power of Demon Fighter burst out. The red light on his body trembled. Facing the people rushing towards the forbidden land of 10,000 yin, he roared heavily, You want to go in? Unless you step over my body. Ah. Buzz buzz. A Buddhist light rushed up from the Arhat's body, shining with golden light. A giant Buddha burst out with a powerful force, pushing back all those flying towards it by 100 meters. Several people were directly killed. Li Yuanba leaped high into the sky. Boom. With a loud bang, it landed in the middle of the crowd. With hundreds of people attacking from all sides, Li Yuanba grinned and laughed. The power in his arms moved. God power. Ah! Li Yuanba roared out, the veins on his entire body bulged, and the blood vein of the Titan god activated, linking it to the twin hammers. The thunder and lightning on the twin hammers were replaced with a dark and scary demon aura. Lei Nu. Li Yuanba's twin hammers came crashing down. Blast. Rumble. 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 Boom. Boom. Countless bolts of lightning appeared on the ground, causing it to shake violently. The surrounding people were all shocked to the point that they were seeing stars. Li Yuanba took a step forward. What the F***? K. Bang, bang, bang. Twin hammers were arrogant. Each time, they would be one-hit kill. It was incomparably terrifying. He was a god of death. The dense crowd was once again pushed back by Li Yuanba and the Arhat. A bunch of trash. Suddenly, a cold voice came from the depths of the forest. Shua. His figure was like lightning, and a fierce wind was blowing towards him. Bam! With a palm hitting Li Yuanba's chest, one of the elders looked up and revealed a sneer of disdain. Break. Boom. A thick and dense power directly rushed into Li Yuanba's body, and like a meat grinder, it directly rushed out from his back. Phut! Li Yuanba spat out a mouthful of blood, his face instantly becoming extremely pale, as he staggered backwards. Second brother. Arhat's face sank, then he took a step forward. It was also at this time. Humph. Your opponent is me. Shua. An afterimage descended and landed in front of the Arhat. A skinny old man stopped the Arhat's path and revealed a disdainful sneer. His 5 fingers moved and he shouted, I want to see how strong your body is. The shadow moved. His 5 fingers formed a claw and grabbed onto the blood-red rune on the Arhat's head. Let me suppress it. The power from his 5 fingers was like 5 bolts of lightning striking Arhat's mind. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The Arhat's legs were smashed into the ground and it vomited out blood. The pain was unbearable. Absolute yin twin evils. A powerhouse at the peak of the 9th level of the War Emperor. This was a mysterious rancor from the Celestial Sect who dared to take down the Evil Sound Sect before Hong Tianjuan's wedding. Ha ha ha. The yin twin baleful chi is powerful indeed. Who can defend against a powerhouse at the peak of War Emperor level 9? Let's see how they can still act so arrogantly. The disciples in the forest all laughed out loud complacently. This past year, he had been driven beyond his control by Li Yuanba and Arhat, and now, he finally had a chance to vent his anger. Big guy, let's see if you can still act so arrogantly. Ha ha ha. The time has come for those who go against their will to die, for those who go against their will to unite the South Horizon region to unite the Heaven Sec. Third brother. Li Yuanba roared, and smashed forward with his hammer. You still want to resist? Humph. You overestimate yourself. The figure of an old man moved again. With a single step, he appeared in front of Li Yuanba. With both of his palms moving together, he shouted, Get down. Boom. Boom. With the sleigh in his palm, Li Yuanba's 3-meter-tall body was immediately sent flying. He crashed into a rock, and after the rock shattered, he spurted out a mouthful of blood. At this moment, Xie Yun did not care that much as he led all 400 female disciples to charge out. All of them are as beautiful as jade and as beautiful as the celestial immortals. The rumors aren't false at all. Ha ha ha. I've been holding it in for a year. Today, I must have a good time. Ha ha ha. Seize all of them. At this moment, Xie Yun's sword moved, and said, Fight it out with them. Li Yuanba heavily smacked the ground, and then, he stood up with his back turned. However, before he could make a move, he was knocked over with a palm strike, and a foot stepped on his head. Little bastard, you have no right to resist in front of me. It was the same in the Ahut. He was knocked to the ground. The two of them looked at each other and laughed at the same time. They're going to die. But there was not the slightest hint of regret in their eyes. Li Yuanbar roared, "Come, I will become a good man again in 18 years, come. Go to hell." The old man was infuriated as he sent a palm strike down. At this moment, the Xianshan sarcophagus on Li Yuanbar's back suddenly trembled, the shaking becoming more and more intense, causing the entire valley to shake. Li Yuanbar's eyes shook. Boss. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. 8_841923568515. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.